taking over today for the great Kristan T Harris. It is a great pleasure to be here with all of you, and my show is called Break the Rules. It is on breaktherules.tv. This is where you go. This is where you pick up your phone, go to breaktherules.tv right now, and subscribe, because we got to keep growing, and it is a great pleasure to be here with all of you who are listening worldwide, as well as my wonderful viewers who are listening on YouTube right now. First, I want to say that thank you so much, Kristan T Harris, for bringing me on. It is an incredible honor to be here. That's number one. Number two, I want to say that I really love this country, regardless of whatever problems it has. I came here as an immigrant of 4 years old with my family from the USSR, and I haven't ever wanted to go back to Russia. I mean, maybe for like going to a bathhouse or something. But honestly speaking, regardless of all the problems that this country has, and it has quite a number of them, especially right now, I still think that this is a place of, and I know it's so hackneyed to say, but it is a place of opportunity, but it is also a place where you would have enough resources relative to the rest of the world to start changing yourself, working on your family. I think that that is incredibly important in the grand scheme of things to do. And one of the things, though, that is kind of a double-edged sword that I found is that in the United States, there seems to be this habit of Americans who kind of come out of their nest to settle in somewhere else, away from their family, bring their family into the old folks' home, and just completely have a different life that's disconnected from their roots. So when I'm saying that America is a land of opportunity and all that, it is a land where you can change yourself, where you can turn into something else, where you can, create this alchemical reaction. But at the same time, it's also a very ego-minded place, where people get these jobs, and they, especially like today, a lot of women as well, and a lot of men too. They go out, they do the office jobs, they disconnect from their family and their roots, and at the end of the day, what do they really get? Like, they get all these toys to play around with. Now we have virtual reality. We could just go into our own world. But what is the thing that defines the world? What is the thing that actually makes you be way more of a participant in the story, as opposed to just this tube that takes information in and unloads information, which is what I think is going on today with the internet and all the social media, where people do become like a series of tubes. They take in information and then they regurgitate that information. And anyway, we have some people in the chat that I also want to get to. We have Philip Daniel, we have Pamode, we have Elliot C. Everybody, don't forget to subscribe, and thank you so much for watching. So this is what I've noticed on both sides of the spectrum here, if we're talking about left and right. And I mean, I don't even believe that much in left and right. I could see them as being, like one side who has been nursed and suckled on the teat, if I'm allowed to say the word teat on the radio. I don't even know now. We are on the radio, by the way, for those who don't know. And myself is here. Welcome, myself. Myself, let me know if you want to come in as a guest later. Wong Kar Y, Superfan XOXOXO, thank you so much for coming in. And yes, this is new. And anyway, there are people online, as many of you guys have noticed, who put in the social media handles with the hashtag BLM, hashtag, whatever their identity happens to be. And like I always say on Break the Rules, I think that it comes from there being a lack of any other kind of identity within their lives when it comes to what is it that you end up contributing to the rest of the world, to your village, to your, to your, I mean, I don't even know if villages exist anymore, like I expect. And guys, just let me know, like, we're going to have a call-in show tomorrow on Wednesday. But let me know right now, go to breaktherules.tv and go into the chat and let me know what exactly is life for you if you are around, like, the middle America, the heartland, whatever you want to call it. There's this idea that us New Yorkers have, because I'm living in New York right now, that there has been so much chaos and destruction that has gone on to middle America, like for the people who are thinking about it, that, people are all on drugs, people are all on oxycodones, they're just sitting down, watching the TV or surfing the internet, and they just kind of given up. You know, like there was this idea of this American golden time of manufacturing and all that. Now everything is being shipped to China and everybody's just sitting down, not really doing anything with themselves. I don't know if that's the truth, but my concern is that that's like the psychic truth. That's the psychic truth that's being infiltrated into people's minds. So even if they're not like that, if they're not seeing that many job opportunities, then they're going to say, okay, you know what, why don't I take these oxys? Why don't I just sit down, chill out, max, relax, all cool, and I'll shoot some b-ball outside of the school till a couple of guys that were up to no good started making trouble in my neighborhood. And the guys who are up to no good, so many. Like we can talk about the United States, but even to more of an extent, Russia and China, as far as the bad elements in there that have been up to no good, that people want to rightfully or wrongfully use as a scapegoat for their problems. You know, big tech, all these companies that are shipping jobs overseas, boomers. People love blaming boomers a lot for all their troubles, saying that, you know, they rode on the high wave of American, worldwide supremacy, and now things are quieting down. America is, just another country, but you know what? I don't believe that. Like I said in the very beginning of the show, I love America. I think it still is the land of opportunity, but it is what you make of it. You have to start going through this, and I'd say a metaphysical process of changing yourself and your family and your entire community through the process of, let's say, becoming a leader in a small way. Like if you are one of those people who wants to improve the community out there, look at the hours of the time that you have and figure out like how many hours am I wasting looking at these screens, except for Break the Rules though. This is the one show that you must watch, breaktherules.tv. Go there right now because we are all about transformation. And anyway, you got to transform. You got to start changing yourself. You got to start doing breathing techniques. I've been doing the Wim Hof method for a long time, and that has completely changed the way that I see the world. Like, I don't really know how best to describe it, so let's rewind the clock a little bit, because I've been ranting about America. Let me talk a little bit about my own story. And also, we have new people here in the comments. So we have KN, who says, true mass witnessing causes change. Same thing with the dual slit experiment. That's what Hollywood is all about. Evil magic users. That's interesting. I mean, Hollywood has not always been like that. Like, you could say that in general, like, oh, look at all these evil people in Hollywood, back in the golden age. Think of all the, all the ways that, they were abusing the women in the industry and all that. Pylos says, stop engaging in occultism. Okay, well, hold on a second, Pylos. What I want to say here, and I will get to it a little bit later, has to do with occultism and how I think that occultism being just hidden is something that is an inherent part of our nature, and I think people engage in it one way or another on a daily basis by making any decision. Like, I'm one of those people who thinks that logos, like the McDonald's arches and, any other kind of logo you can think of, it has an occult effect on you. The internet has an occult effect on you. All this stuff has an occult effect on you. So I say fight fire with fire. Don't just ignore it. Don't just say, you know what, like, I'm just going to hide my head in the sand, not let all these things affect me, and also not even know about what they are or how they work, or how my own body would work in relation to them. I'd say no. There's an abundance of information out there online, but you know what, I'm going to get to that later. Anyway, Marshman says, let's go. Thank you so much, Marshman, for watching. I really appreciate you. I appreciate everybody here. Anyway, here is my story for those who don't know. I assume that the people in the chat have been following BTR for a long time. We've started out from 300 subscribers right before we started doing the live streams, and that was in May, and now we are at 2,500. So we are growing at a really rapid rate thanks to all your help. The way that I started out is, like I said before, when I was 4 years old, my parents found a way to get us from the Soviet Union to the United States. And I started out going to a Russian Orthodox school when I was 5 years old. At 5 a.m., I woke up in Brooklyn because it took a long time for me to get there. This school was on the Upper East Side. St. Sergius Gymnasium, it was called. welcome back, Philip Daniel. St. Sergius Gymnasium, and, it was this Russian Orthodox school with very few classmates. Like, I think there were like 5 other people in my class, which I think is an ideal number of people in the class, honestly, if you're not going to go the homeschool route. So, and we have a comment from Yehor Okunievsky. I have been watching for a while. Thanks for the amazing content. Thank you so much, Yehor, for watching. I really appreciate you. Anyway, this is something that I think was kind of something that balanced out the rest of my life. Because I went to this Russian Orthodox school. I was there the very last year it was active. And this was around like the early 90s, like 95 or 93, something like that. It was around the time that Batman Forever came out. That's what I remember. Anyway, I went to this Russian Orthodox school. It was pretty hard, although I liked the number of people in the class. There was this girl named Rita that I had a crush on there. Anyway, in this school, there was this basement. And in this basement, there was a long hallway that I believe led to the fire exit. And there was this blue door. And it looked like somebody rammed their head through this blue door. So it was I think this was one of the first things that got me thinking, like, man, this is something that I'm reacting to quite negatively. Like, I'm looking at this thing and I'm thinking, like, are there demons here? Are demons infesting the school? And are the Orthodox priests fighting against these demons? Anyway, be that as it may, after the Russian Orthodox school, I went to Catholic school. And I had a friend whose father was in the Italian mob, but I'll get to that later. After Catholic school, in around 5th grade, I got homeschooled. I went to acting school. I went to the Lee Strasberg Theater Institute. Very nice place. I got to meet a lot of interesting people there. And after Lee Strasberg, or during Lee Strasberg, I went to ballet school. Shane says, congrats on 2.5 subs. Thank you so much. These streams are some of the best on the web from someone who spends 8+ hours a day online. Shane, please don't spend that much time on the internet. Forget about all the other things you see. Just watch Break the Rules. Go to our Twitter at Break the Rules with a TH3 instead of the, and go to Facebook / Break the Rules, spelled the same way, Break the Rules with THE and 3 instead of the E. Anyway, do that and spend the rest of your time reading, and I'll show you guys a really good method to read books. Anyway, after Catholic school, where do we go? After Catholic school, I went to ballet. No, at the same time, what am I even talking about? Let me rewind here. During Lee Strasberg. What is wrong with me? During Lee Strasberg, I went to ballet school. And I went to ballet school for about a year. I learned how to do splits because I had one of these serious Soviet teachers that used to just force me to do the split whether I liked it or not. And it was a fun experience. And after that, I went to School of Visual Arts for animation. I still consider myself to be an animator, although right now I have to get started on a new movie. But it takes so much time to actually prepare oneself to, get the people together, get the animators together, background artists, storyboarders, and you're putting so much time, like not even illustration, like with animation, think of all the amount of frames that you got to draw, everything that you got to put together. So if I'm going to do an animated project, it's going to be one where I want people to see it and I want it to be spread out, not just something that I put online and, you never know whether it's going to be seen or not, because I don't want it to be like a fan art, project, like a guest grumps or, and game grumps are great. Don't get me wrong. I really respect a lot of the great animations that people make of it. I like making original stuff. So when I'm going to do an animated project, it's going to be more based on, whatever it is, like that's in my dreams or, just something that I create that's not related to any existing property. Anyway, I had this whole time when I was going to animation festivals, when I was in the animation school. And after that, I started to get into this stage of thinking like, okay, in order to be part of this animation paradigm right now, being in the studio system, there is a certain way that people act. That is a good comment, by the way. We should interview Don Bluth. I'm very glad to see that he is still alive and well. Anyway, when it comes to the animation industry, and I've heard this many a time from people, that the kind of conduct that you have to, the kind of way that you have to be there in an animation environment now, like Cartoon Network, Nickelodeon, even though it's not restrictive on its face, there is still this pressure that people feel to conform to the ideas that the majority sets. And like we find in, think of all the people who retweet animation, who retweet pretty much, any kind of illustration, anime, cartoon styles, whatever. A lot of them are the same people who have these different, these different pronouns, these different ways of defining themselves that is separate from anything that they have contributed. Like, there's this idea that, and again, this is like such a dead horse that has been beat time and time again, so I don't even want to speak about it anymore. But it's like, for those who don't know, I mean, everybody already knows there is this shift where people go on Twitter. I think it's still like a loud majority. I don't know how many young people are like this, but it's very automatic now. You go on Twitter, you put on your personal pronoun, and you let people know who you are based on your identity. But as far as the work itself, like, what exactly would be a Zur quality that you would find in like a certain artwork? What would be this gender bending nonconformist? Like, it would be kind of like a mix, right? It would be a mix of male and female, but I often find that it doesn't really take the best parts of either. So it just takes the, it's like either you have a really weak looking male who is not really going to add anything to the culture, or you have a female that's going to be kind of butchy looking and she's not really going to be as attractive to a lot of males. So, I mean, sure, maybe you could say she's going to be attractive to somebody who looks exactly like her, but the form itself, it doesn't really go into any archetype. Like, I am a believer in archetypes. I am a believer that we as human beings are the projections of these different forces that manifest themselves on a higher plane and then manifest themselves through us based on what our ego wants to, wants to let in. I think the role of our ego is basically saying, like, yes, no. Do I let you in? Do I let you out? So, for example, Pylos, if you were to talk about, I don't know, demon infestation, sure, you could say that demons do exist, but I think that to a certain extent, everything is a demon. And when I say everything is a demon, like, all the desires that you have to do anything, I think that is, in a way, its own thought form. And the thought form could get more complex. It could get more, simple and standard, like we have the Trimurti in Hinduism. You have Brahma, the creator. You have Shiva, the destroyer. And you have Vishnu, the maintainer. These are very, very standard abstract concepts. And then you would have others that talk about, fertility. You would have others that would talk about beauty and all that. And we have Nada Importante in the chat, in the Periscope, actually. Thank you so much, Nada, for going into the Periscope. Don't forget to go to breaktherules.tv, subscribe to our YouTube channel. And all the people who are watching this right now, who are in their cars, don't stop driving. But when you get a chance to, because I do not want you to text and drive, but when you get a chance to, if there's like a stop sign or whatever, I don't know, like, I don't want to throw out illegal advice here as far as the rules of the road go, but when you have a chance, grab your phone, grab your cell phone, type in breaktherules.tv. That's going to lead you to our YouTube page, and subscribe right now. Subscribe to breaktherules.tv. That is our YouTube page, and subscribe to all the rest of our pages too. So anyway, what I was getting to here was, I think that we as human beings are mere puppets being influenced by the wills of gods, demons, whatever you want to call it. But when I say demons, I don't mean it in necessarily an evil sense. Demons could be evil too. Like, demons could be those that, want you to do bad things to your neighbor or take revenge or whatever. But at the same time, I think demons could also be, inspiring. I think that all art, in a way, is daimonic influence. Because demon, comes from the word daimon, which is related to the word genius. And to me, that's an important distinction. Because if we're talking about, and this is back to Pylos here for a second, if we're talking about all the church fathers that scorn demons, that scorn witchcraft, that scorn any of these technologies, like, sure, you could say that this is going to... Pylos says demons are evil spirits. Okay, Pylos, what about the demons that would inspire art? What about the muses? Because, again, I'm talking about this thing in a gradient. Because if we're just saying that, okay, over here is God, and below God are the seraphim, Ophanim, thrones, and whatever you want to call it, like, okay, you have the angels, that's great. To me, the angels, though, they're kind of like robots. Like, they're kind of like, they just do their function, and they don't have this whole free will thing going on. And I guess you could say a similar thing about demons. Maybe they're also performing their function. But when it comes to, let's say, more of the middle ground, where we have, let's say, these spirits that would... Okay, Pylos says muses are angels. Here's the thing. Maybe they're angels, but at the same time, not all art is like, candies and unicorns and rainbows. Like there is art that talks about, struggle and fighting and sinister things too. Like think of Gantz, the anime and manga. Think of Berserk. I think that Pylos says angels aren't... Well, I guess it depends on what you call a robot. Like, all that I'm saying is that I don't think that there is as much free will in the angels, since they are much more of the, let's say, hands and fingers of God. And if we're talking about like hands of God, think of God Hand, think of Berserk, for those who aren't aware of that manga. Beautiful manga, a lot of horrible imagery there. Now, would you say that those demonic designs are inspired by angels? Then fine, you could call them... Okay, he says beauty is terrifying. Okay, sure, but then I think we may have a differentiation of what we exactly call, demons and what we call angels. Because then let's constrain our meaning for demons to be just unequivocally, unremorseful entities that want to put you into a state of suffering. But then again, if you're talking about beauty being terrifying, then is that not a demonic aspect that the angels are bringing forth within you when you create art? So, I don't know. I don't exactly know what to think of this. And by the way, we have more people in the chat here. Buff says, what if bad thing is actually good? Satanism. Yeah. F you, Dad. Yeah, I think we could say F you, right? Anyway. So there is this whole thing of, going against your fathers and all that. But no, I don't really mean like what if bad thing is actually good. What I mean is that unless you're in the stage of being at one with God or something, you're always going to have some kind of a burden to fight against, right? So if we're talking about these burdens that you fight against, my whole thing is, wouldn't those burdens be the, let's say, the opposition? Wouldn't those burdens be, all these, people in Congress in Washington that keep their streets, in this really bad way, cause, all this violence and drug abuse to happen and don't do anything about it, end up going on vacations while people are, dying from COVID and are under a lockdown, I see those people and any negative force as being pressure to fight against. So if we're talking about how do we distinguish angels from demons, it's tricky. And Nada Importante says humans are not meant to understand gods or demons. That is true. And Pylos says demonic temptation is real. Yes. But again, if we're talking about angels, just like the angel, just like the angel that was fighting against Jacob. If we are talking about the wrestling... Well, actually, that was God, wasn't it? Wrestling with God? If we're talking about that aspect, I mean, hey, if we're going to be talking about God here for a second, then why not talk about the destruction of all these cities? Why not talk about the destruction of Sodom and Gomorrah? You could say, well, that was justified. I don't know. Or was everybody in Sodom and Gomorrah totally guilty? Or if we're talking about that other city, what's the name of it right now? When the Hebrews were going through that city, there was one prostitute that they did not hurt, but everybody else they did. I'm trying to remember the name of that city. Please refresh my memory in the chat. Anyway, or the death of the firstborn Egyptians. You know, there's all this stuff that I could point to where people say, well, the Bhagavad Gita, you know, like in the Bhagavad Gita, this guy has to fight his family and like all this bloodshed. Okay, well, what about the God of the Hebrews and the Christians then? Like, if we're talking about that God, there's also just as much bloodshed. So again, if we're talking about how do we differentiate this evil demonic tendency from this good angelic tendency, I'm sorry, I mean, at that point I'm getting kind of confused. Pilate says, yes, all of Sodom was guilty, mercy is Christ. Fair enough. Again, like, I don't know how you know that all of Sodom was guilty. You don't have a time machine. You did not go to Sodom and speak to the Sodomites. You know, maybe there were some nice Sodomites there. I don't know. But what about the other city whose name I'm trying to remember? What is the name of that city? Guys, please help me out here. Philip Daniel has a comment. I'm reminded of how in Thomas Mann's Dr. Faustus, Adrian Leverkern composes an entire oratorio in which the heavenly scenes are extremely dissonant and the hellish scenes are very consonant. That's an interesting thing. Yeah, I mean, you remember the Book of Enoch, the way that heaven was displayed. You know, it was pretty psychedelic and pretty violent and fiery. There was like this castle made out of ice with fire around. You know, it was pretty trippy stuff. But anyway, I don't know, like, we can go back and forth about this all day. I'm not really sure where at the end of the day I stand when it comes to how do we differentiate the good from the bad other than the suffering that we see it caused. Jericho, that is it. Okay. So myself says, who are you broadcasting to? Well, we are broadcasting on the radio right now, myself. And this is a great pleasure to be broadcasting today on the radio. And this is all thanks to my friend Kristan T Harris, who has the show The Rundown Live. He's been doing the show for a while. He talks about a lot of conspiracy-related things, and I think I could get into a lot of these conspiracy things later on as well. But again, I'm one of those people who wants to get like the most right out of the horse's mouth type stuff. This is what I want you guys to present me with. So we were having a conversation about Ecoscience the other day, written by John Holbrook, his name is, about population reduction, forced abortions, things of that nature, you know, pretty gruesome things. But John Holdren, who I think worked as the science czar for the Obama administration, when people were asking him about, these things that he was writing about at Ecoscience, he said that these were not things that he would ever want to implement, but he was talking about how when you're kind of stuck between a rock and a hard place, these seem to be like among a list of other things among which I would definitely want to do, the things that would cause the least amount of damage to people or violation of people's civil rights. Like all these other horrible things that I've listed, they're very horrible, but I'm going to be a realist and say, I'm not going to pretend that these would not be on the table for some people in the future. Like, these are going to be things that people are going to have to, make a choice about. And you could say, you know what, this guy totally wrong. What a demon. How dare he talk about all of this stuff. But again, if we're talking about making the best choice out of the worst possible choices, maybe this is where he was coming from. And that's what I told Kristan, to play devil's advocate for this guy who wrote Ecoscience. I was like, okay, maybe he has a point. Maybe he's not the bad guy. Maybe he was just presenting these scenarios. I don't know, maybe he was wrong. Maybe he was wrong to even write about this stuff, because as Kristan says, well, people read his controversial population control book, and now they're actually going to use it and run with it and use it as the Bible. So, I don't know what to say other than that about John Holdren. But what I'm getting to here is I am actually totally lost as far as what I was talking about before. We're talking about demons, we're talking about God. Oh, here's what I wanted to get to. Okay, so Jason Rizzo-Giorgiani, for those who don't know, I've been following him for quite a while. He approaches things from more of a Promethean point of view, where we're talking about this fire of the gods that all humans have been given by this entity, by this god called Prometheus. Fire of the god, I think that this is... and we have a couple of other comments here. We have, let's see, and don't forget to go to breaktherules.tv once again. You know what, I'm going to read the comments a little bit later. So anyway, when we're talking about Prometheus, he's the god who gave people the fire of the gods, stole the fire of the gods from the rest of the gods, gave them to the human beings. Great. What is the fire of the gods? I think it's kundalini. I think that the fire of the gods is this primal energy that animates the entire universe that we have within ourselves. And you could say, okay, we have this fire of the gods. We have this quality that, let's say in Hinduism, they would call, sattvas and also rajas to a certain extent. And for those who don't know about sattva, raja, and what was the other one? Tama. So sattva is the quality of balance, harmony, goodness, purity, universalizing, holistic, constructive, creative, building, positive attitude, luminous, serenity, beingness, peaceful, virtuous. Rajas is the quality of passion, activity, neither good nor bad, and sometimes either. Self-centeredness, egoistic, individualizing, driven, moving, dynamic. And the last one, tamas, is the quality of imbalance, disorder, chaos, anxiety, impure, destructive, delusion, negative, dull or inactive, apathy, inertia or lethargy, violent, vicious, ignorant. So there we go. These are the qualities that we see in humankind. They are present, I think, in all of us to a certain extent. And the idea behind a lot of these different tantric practices is you transmute what I was talking about earlier in this stream. You end up transmuting your quality into a higher quality. Now you could say, well, you know what? This is all nonsense. You're playing with fire here, where you're literally playing with the fire of the gods. Don't do that. Go to church. That's enough. Maybe going to church is enough for some people. But you're basically saying that this birthright, this quality that we have within us, this is something that we just ought to ignore, not really do anything about. My concern is that what we are faced with right now, because look, you may have been right if we're talking about the Middle Ages or whatever. You may have been right if we're talking about a time when there was a better organization of society, as far as there being more of these hive minds, there being more of these, smaller villages that like everybody looks out for each other, yada, yada. We are facing a pretty big thing right now. We are facing AI. We are facing people becoming these series of tubes that get information through them and talk about things as if they are the authority. Now, I could say, well, look who's talking. Fine, granted. I understand I am also a tube. I am also a puppet that's being propelled by all these forces. But man, oh man, the Shevitz, am I trying hard to look at these things and to think hard and to look deep within myself and say, does this make sense? Is this something that is going to bring goodness to the world? Is this something that's going to strengthen myself and my family? Or is this something that's going to keep me occupied in this state of just wanting to experience, eternal bliss and pleasure and forget everybody else? So I don't know. It's hard. I'm only human. I don't know exactly how to face that properly. The only thing that I could do is make a choice and run with it. The reason why I'm saying that AI and these series of tubes things is something that I think calls for some people, maybe not all, but some people being able to harness this kundalini energy, being able to see what exactly we have. I am one of those people who thinks that all the information that we have right now, and this includes the Bible, and this includes, all the Hindu texts and the Quran, Torah, whatever, these are the only things, as far as like metaphysically speaking, beyond these extrasensory experiences that people get, that they relay to people and nobody else would really be able to tell whether or not they had it. But anyway, these are the only things that we really have that we can utilize to talk about things that are beyond us. I mean, obviously we have science. Science is great. I'm not one of those, I know that there's this whole hate on science recently from, people who are like looking at the soy faces and saying, oh my God, I love science. Science is so great. Like they deify science. I'm not a fan of that. But at the same time, I think that there is a groundedness in being able to look at all the things that you have around you as far as, information about mathematics, physics. Like, don't ignore this stuff, man. Like, this is very important information that we are actually able to have access to. Don't let the Redditors be the ones who, plant their stupid Reddit flag on science. Don't let that happen. Don't be the people who are just with their heads stuck in the clouds and not actually looking at things that have had the scientific method, gone through them. That is very important. It is very important to apply the scientific method as much as you can. But anyway, what I'm getting to here is that if we're talking about these metaphysical ideas, what is God? What is Jesus Christ? What is Buddha? What is Shiva? What is Shakti? There are things that I think hint at what is going on to us when we are at church, when we pray, when we meditate, to different extents. The problem, though, is that you still have the middleman of the priest and the bishop, and you still have the middleman of, your own psyche. You have the middleman of the way that you perceive things based on other things that you've experienced. So, and Pilate says, submit to Christ, don't seek to become like gods. What do gods do? Do gods draw? Do gods create art? We're already exhibiting qualities of creators when we take it upon ourselves not to just sit around and pray, but to go about and build something. We are already being spoken through, whatever power. My point here is that if we're talking about all these different entities, we make an assumption about what these things are, but we make these assumptions through third parties. And again, our psyche, our consciousness, I think that is also a third person here. Because again, it's filtering through all these other experiences and all the experiences that you've had through your genetics, all the experiences that you have had through maybe your past lives if reincarnation exists. You're filtering all that information through. And at the end of the day, that's my big problem with putting my hat into any kind of faith. Because it's like, okay, we have this planet Earth, nice planet and all that. What if we were living on an island? What if we were living on an island that had a cargo cult, and this cargo cult said, this is all there is to know, don't worry about anything else. All these other planets are, I had a conversation with Delivered Morgan recently. Great dude. I would love for him to come back to BTR. But I had a conversation with him about this, and he was talking about how the Earth is in a special position because it is not saved, but the rest of the planets are saved. And I'm sorry, but to me, that's a little bit weird, because how do you know? How do you know other planets aren't going through their own struggles, aren't going through their own fall? That's a real big concern to me, as far as thinking that the Earth is the only one. We're not even in the center of the galaxy. We're just in this one spot that's not that, it's not that far away from the center of the galaxy, but it's, not that close either. We're not in the bad place. That Mayan calendar, that's showing galactic time. So people look towards the bigger picture, even in ancient civilizations, as far as where Earth is compared to where all these other things are. I really don't think that all these things are there just to amuse us and just joke with us, saying oh, you think there's life on all these other planets? Nope, just a prank, bro. Just a prank. You're the only ones. I mean, look, maybe if you guys have a point, maybe that's the case. I don't know. But if it's not the case, then what are we talking about? If it's not the case, then we are talking about a principle that you end up experiencing when you go into certain altered states, when you feel the hand of your grandmother, when you buy ice cream for your kids, when you have all these experiences. That is the kind of state, indescribable to speak of, that points you to there being something higher that's going on beyond us just being these flesh bags that have no reason to exist. And I am for that. What I am not for personally is thinking that all the things that have been written down already, that is the end-all be-all, that explains everything, and that is the only thing that you can rely on. So I'm going to look at some of these comments here, because I think we have great comments over here. And again, everybody, thank you so much for watching this. I really appreciate all of you being here. We are going to be running this thing till 3 o'clock, and then at 5 o'clock, we are going to have a stream about art with the great Giovanni Panacchetti. Bella. He is going to be talking with Paul Talk. He is going to beat that boomer with the power of the Med Bull, or as I like to call it, the Med Bull. Anyway, let's read some comments over here, guys. And don't forget, breaktherules.tv. Go there right now. And also, for those of you who have not followed me on Twitter, do it right now. Lev Po on Twitter. Follow me on Twitter. I really appreciate it. I post all kinds of fun stuff. Anyway, let's go up over here and see all these comments. Man, we have a lot of comments. Thank you guys so much for watching this. I really appreciate it. Okay, let's go up here. Blah, 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 blah. Okay, man, oh man, the Shevitz. Okay, here we go. Beauty. This is from Shane, by the way. Shane, thank you so much for watching. Beauty, truth, justice, life, affirmation, naturalism, redemption, etc. Plysis art. Subversion, death cults, ugliness, excess abstraction, narcissism, commercialism, etc. Dark propaganda. Again, look, I'm not going to be one of those people who's going to say, like, like Adolf Hitler, put all this art into the degeneracy column and say, oh, this is degenerate art. Look, I'm sorry, but the version that the Nazis had of the Judgment of Paris, it's not a great painting. It's really dull. And you could say, okay, fine, that there are paintings out there that have, beauty and truth and aren't ugly or degenerate or whatever. And, those are great too. Obviously, there's a lot of classic works that have that. Although it is kind of interesting how a lot of these classic works got into the fore at around the time of the Renaissance, at around the time of these evil pagan gods coming back. Anyway, look, I'm not going to put my hand in the ring of the pagans either. What I'm trying to establish here is I think that there is a gradient to all this stuff. Anyway, when it comes to the dark propaganda, sure, you could say some of it is pretty dark, like Big Mouth, for example. I looked at the character designs for Big Mouth. I think that they're not great at all. They're pretty ugly, but they're not ugly in a cute way. Like, I think that there are examples you can look at, like Tim Burton, for example. Like, I really like his art style. I think Tim Burton's great. And you could say, well, Tim Burton, he's doing all this dark, voodoo, Jack Skellington stuff, whatever. But, like, no, I'm sorry. He's got good art. And so do other people. Like, look at Bruegel, for example, or Bruegel, however you want to pronounce his name. He's the guy who did the Tower of Babel picture that I have as a background behind me on some streams. So when he depicted Jesus Christ, he depicted him as this, strange looking, kind of ugly looking child. Same thing with Mary. Or if you're looking at some other things that he drew, like, look, this is a guy who also drew demons, and you cannot tell me that the pictures that he drew of the demons were not cool. Why is it that a lot of us do end up rooting for the bad guy and like seeing all this carnage and destruction? It is also a part of us. It is also a part of nature to see things like that. Now, obviously, I think that there is a limit. I think that, like, TikTok nurses or any of that, like, there are things out there that I think do push the envelope of what is considered to be, just a certain kind of ugliness that is attractive, that is interesting, and something that is just dark propaganda or whatever you want to say. I'm not just putting the TikTok nurses in here. I'm not just putting Big Mouth in here, but there are aspects of this that you could see. Like, for example, that horrible stuff with that kid, the transgender kid. I don't remember his name right now, but you know who I'm talking about, who was on that video with that guy who went to jail for killing his lover, and they were talking about these party drugs. So anyway, you get my point here. Next comment. Philip Daniel, I think Mon had Schoenberg's Unfinished Ontario. I read that already. Jacob's Ladder in mind, a work that was apparently very influenced by Balzac's Seraphita and the theology of Swedenborg. Paul Talk is going to end Geo. I am Team Geo all the way. Don't even come here with that. What are you talking about? Myself. Like, what parts of the U.S.? I know a small amount about radio from Review Bra, blah, 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 God willing. They don't know who they are messing with. Human rights based. Michael Pamoulis, the main tool of the radical depopulationists is creating a simulated life through our media consumption. Sure, you could say that. Again, I don't know how much of it is planned and how much of it is just going with the flow as far as all the stuff goes. Anyway, Godward, you know that the Wakis have tried to claim that the uber right-wing Balzac was pro-trans rights because of Seraphita. Then we have the Magus train. Why is he allowed to engage in that discourse, though, when much less extreme ideas are censored? Yeah, Michael Pamoulis, yes, they are poisoning our food and killing our babies, but the real move is to convince us willingly to remove ourselves from the world. Again, food for thought. Godward, that's like saying Shakespeare was pro-trans because of Twelfth Night. I love Twelfth Night, by the way. That was one of my favorite Shakespeare plays of all time. So anyway, yeah, let's keep going down here. A lot of great comments from you guys. Lev, have you had a kundalini experience? This is from Godward. Lev, have you had a kundalini experience from doing the exercise? I am going to get to that in a second. Thank you for asking. Pylos, let God align your fire, don't do it yourself. At what point would you say it is God? At what point would you say it is doing it yourself? If I'm going to say, you know what, I'm going to lay in bed all day and I'm not going to move until God moves me, okay, at what point is God moving me and at what point am I moving me? So I'm not really sure how to answer that question. So, okay, here we go. Wander, Lev, do you believe in objective truth? Do you believe objective truth exists? And if yes, do you believe people can find it? I think so. I think that there is an objective truth out there, and I think people can find it. Pylos, bishops aren't middlemen, they're higher men. Okay, Pylos, some of them may be higher, some of them may be lower. How do you know? That's the thing. Like, if we're talking about medieval Russia for a second here, that was under the thumb of the Golden Horde, you had Alexander Nevsky, who was canonized. What he was doing was he was basically like a money grabber for the fee of the Golden Horde. So he used to shake down cities. He used to go around to towns and cities, shake them down for money, just like the robbers were doing, you know, with the grain in Seven Samurai. And if you didn't pay up, he would burn your village down. So he burned Novgorod to the ground because they did not pay the fee for the Golden Horde's quote-unquote protection. And this is the same kind of community that when they were praying in church with their priests and their bishops were saying prayers to the Khan, you know, to the Khan, or how we would pronounce it, to the Khan and his family. So I'm sorry, man, but this is like one example of many that you cannot rely solely on these people. And look, if you find a great priest, a great bishop, God bless you, that is great. But examples like that point me to, at least if we're talking about that time period in Russia, things were not that great. And it got to such an extent later on, actually, like, people think of the Russian peasants, you know, being these, you know, like, noble, savage, or whatever you want to call it. And, you know, I think that they were treated really badly by a lot of the nobility, but they were also treated really badly by the priestly class. There was a lot of corruption going on right towards the end, like right before the revolution in Russia. And when it comes to, you know, the money grubbing and the way that the priests were treating the people, this was also one of the things that provoked a really negative reaction. So it wasn't just like, oh my God, I love these priests so much, how dare the commies do this? No, there was actual antagonism, not based on communist propaganda, but purely based on the way that these priests let themselves go from what priests are supposed to be. And this assumption that just because you put a robe on and just because you know, read the Bible or read it, you know, every day at your congregation, I don't see that making you any more than a human being unless you prove so otherwise. Unless people could see the holy energy radiating out of you. And I believe that those are cases that have happened as well. I'm not one of those people who's going to say everything is screwed up, all priests are evil, and they're just, you know, no. I'm sure that there are amazing priests out there who are a benefit to their community. My only point is that since we have examples of the exceptions happening as well, let's just be a little bit more cautious and not throw our eggs into one basket if we're talking about these people. So, Godward said, I hate when people act like priests can't become corrupted. Read Josephus. There we go, absolutely. And again, I'm not saying that there are priests out there who are, you know, not great priests. I think, like, our Catholic school that I went to, you know, it's some pretty good priests. Again, it's like, I'm not going to look at these people as being, you know, ultra holy or ultra evil as well. Like, I think mostly, just like all people, it's just like a middle ground. I think most people are just going to be, you know, regular people who have learned certain things and pass those things on. As far as whether or not you start to, you know, you engage away from women and you know, lock yourself up in a convent or, you know, live in that, what do you call rectory? It's a very interesting word, rectory. Anyway, if you put yourself in that position, just doing that, I don't think that makes you holy, nor does, a lying on a bed of nails like the Buddha was talking about, nor does all the self-flagellation make you holy either. Sometimes there are people who just like doing that. There are people who spend all day in World of Warcraft guilds, and, they happen to have good sense of business management, but they let their entire body rot unless they're working out on a very frequent basis. So again, different examples of people here. Anyway, it says over here, doesn't it say in the Bible, ye are gods, or am I mixing it up with something else? I'm not sure. Somebody answer KN if that is the case. Let's keep going down here. Matthew 25:14-30 justifies art. Okay, I am not familiar with Matthew 25:14-30, so I'm going to look that up right now. John Pellich, how are you, my friend? Thank you so much for coming in here. And everybody who is listening right now on the radio, don't forget to go to breaktherules.tv, become a subscriber today. Get your phone out, whether you're in the garage and you're doing some woodworking or whatever. Speaking of woodworking, go to patreon.com/breaktherules. I am not kidding around with you. It is time. It is time for us to grow this thing. We have had the meeting of the minds on this channel that I appreciate so much for coming in here. You guys are the very best, better than the rest. And when you become a $5 patron, you get access to our hidden Discord group for percolators. That's what it's called. You're going to become a percolator. So then after that, if you become a $20 patron, you are going to get my dad's beautiful magnets. Look at the quality of these magnets. For all the radio listeners out there, these are completely original magnets. They look absolutely gorgeous, exquisite. If we're talking about the lack of craftsmanship today, the lack of this Promethean fire within people, my father, Alexander Polyakov, who came from the Soviet Union, he has this in spades. So get these magnets, and you will get these magnets when you become a $20 tier patron. And you are going to get these things yearly. Every year you're going to get new magnets. Anyway, here is also a video of Giovanni Pennicietti making his prints, and this is for $30 patrons. If you become a $30 patron, in addition to the magnets, you are going to get these very beautiful TFW No GF series prints. Amazing work. Geo is the man. I love him to death. And if you become a $50 patron, you are going to get one more thing, and you're going to be really impressed by this. Okay, get this. Not only are you going to get the $20 magnets, not only are you going to get the access to the Discord, but you are also going to get the prints, and you are also going to get custom wooden magnets, one-of-a-kind custom magnets, especially for you, because this is how much I care about you guys. And you are also, on top of that, gonna get beautifully painted figures from what's that game? Man, I am such an embarrassment right now. What is that game with the Marines? You know the one I'm talking about? Anyway, guys, help me out here. What is that game? The one that Jules loves playing all the time. Anyway, you're gonna get that. And yes, so that is what you get for Patreon patronage. It is going to get you a lot more than that, though, baby. We are growing at a rapid pace. 300 in May, 2,500 now. We are growing at a rapid pace, and it's all thanks to you guys. Link in the chat to Patreon right now. Just go there. Go to Patreon right now. Become a subscriber and become a patron, and we love you guys so much. Oh, thank you, Warhammer 40K. And wait till we get 40K subscribers. That is going to be an amazing day. I'm gonna put out fireworks. I'm gonna dangle my cat Steve on my feet. And we are almost at the time for break. We're gonna have break time coming in, and then we are going to have masked bast. I'm not going to say the full thing, and then I'm going to say ARD. And you could probably guess what that word is. It is a naughty word that is not allowed for radio. So anyway, let us get to some more comments before we end the stream. No, what am I talking about? We're not ending the stream. We are going to a break. And I'm still probably going to be talking with you guys right now during the break, but the radio listeners are not going to hear what I am saying. So maybe I'm going to start cursing. We'll see. Anyway, over here, Paul will destroy Geomed's cringe takes. Let's see what else we got here. Bishops have authority. Yes. Okay, so I already went through that before. Lev carries a lot of animosity for Russians. I wonder why. Nope. That is absolutely not true. First of all, if we're talking about animosity towards Russians, I am half Russian myself. I love the Russian people. I want the Russian people to succeed. I don't want the Russian people to be subdued by the forces that are currently subduing them. And I'm sorry, but if you're looking at this thing as like, oh, well, Lev doesn't care about the Russian people because he talks about all these problems. If I didn't care about the Russian people, I would let things be exactly as they are. I would let things be exactly as they are. I wouldn't talk an inch about the problems that are are going on in Russia today because I would just want them to destroy themselves. But no, actually what I want to do is I want to team up with people who want to make Russia a better place for them, to make the Hyperborean spirit that is alive within the Russians reactivate again and have all the trauma that they have endured during their time being subsumed by the Golden Horde go away. And it's a slow process. It doesn't happen overnight. You know, like this is the blood that I am carrying within myself as well. So if we're talking about, like, I'm sorry, dude, if we're talking about Lev not caring about the Russian people, what do you want me to do to try to figure out a way to make the Russian people better if I'm not going to talk about them? If I'm not going to talk about the problems that are present? If I love somebody, I am going to address their problem. So here we go, guys. We are going for our first break. I'm going to read some more comments. But anyway, guys, this is break time, and I will catch you real soon. So, all right, I know you guys can't hear the music, so I could probably talk right now. Actually, I want to make sure. Yeah, I think I could probably talk still. Hey, excellent. Yes, I am hot on YouTube. So for all the YouTubers who do not know, I'm currently talking to a Race who is the head of this program. Now, they cannot hear your voice right now. Race, would you like me to put you on as the NDI source temporarily so they can hear your voice? Okay, let's see if I can do that right now. I'm going to put on Race over here, who I believe is Global Radio Alliance. Is that you, my friend? All right, here we go. Okay, so Race, can you hear me? Can we hear you? Let's see over here. I'm not sure. Oh, here, try it one more time.
Okay, can you hear me now?
No, I can hear you, but they cannot hear you, unfortunately. So let me figure out what is going on here. I think that I just have to go into the settings and turn that on. So guys, while I am fidgeting around with the settings, I just want to thank you guys so much for watching once again. I'm going to get to all of your beautiful, wonderful comments while this commercial break is going on. But let me just see over here, property, sound, OBS. We are working with new things right now, trying to figure out what is going on here. So NDI source. This is what I see over here. I see camera, I see mic aux, but where are the settings for all the other sound things? That's what I'm trying to figure out right now here. Let's see. Settings, right-click, properties. Is that going to give me what I want? I don't think so. No, this is just giving me a background over here. So you know me with the settings. We're always learning new things. We're always trying to figure out. I want to get Race on here because, again, I want to get the guests on here as well, and this is a good test. Oh, okay, so I see NDI source 2. So I see it over here, but for some reason, Race, you are not giving any sounds at all inside of it. So let me see. Oh, advanced audio properties. Let me see if that's going to fix something. NDI source 2, it says monitor off. So here we go over here. Monitor off.
Unsolved mysteries and so much more on KGRA Classics Found.
Say something real quick, Race, before we go.
Check 1, 2. Hello.
Okay, everybody could hear Race now. Excellent. You guys could hear Race, right? Let me know if you hear Race. Lev just proved Russians aren't Hyperborean. What? What are you talking about? That's crazy talk. Of course they are. So anyway, so let me know how long until we stop the break and go back.
Starts.
Interesting. Oh, and you know what's strange? For some reason, when I turn off the NDI source from being viewed, your voice goes off. So here you go. Speak now, and guys in the chat, let me know if you hear Ray speaking, okay? Ray, say whatever you want.
Speak now and forever hold my peace.
Excellent. And by the way, Race, you have a beautiful, I don't know if it's a southern accent, but yeah, you have a great accent, man. I love it so much.
Oh, yeah. That's straight out of Arkansas.
Oh, look at this. John Pellich says, Lev, we heard him for the last few minutes, and now we can't hear him?
Uh-oh.
Wait, what? That is weird. Hold on. Are you sure? I am live on air. Well, of course, I'm live on YouTube, but I am not live on the radio right now, so this is a special treat just for you YouTubers out there who are watching this right now. We're going to go back on air. Are you not hearing Race anymore? Race, could you say something?
Yeah. Of course. It's tricky, all of those settings are.
Yes.
We should have Kristan. We should get him on the phone and help you diagnose it.
No. Everything's fine now. I figured everything out. This was
I just
this
got a
was
message
yeah.
from him. I just got a message from him, Lev. He said he got a flat in Indiana, but he's back on the road now.
Oh well. Thank God for him fixing the flat. I'm glad to hear it. So yeah, we have a lot of comments over here. Ricardo Williams, we can hear him. Yes, we can hear him. We can. Bruh, we can hear him. We can hear. No, Lev, LOL. We can hear. Lev, stop fidgeting. No, LOL, no. Don't do it, Lev. We can hear him. No, don't click. Stream sponsored by Skype. We can hear. Lev just proved Russians aren't. Oh, that's what that was about. Oh, okay. Okay, fine. Well, anyway, yes. Thank you so much for Skype. Actually, I do not need the Skype logo in here at all, although I would prefer
90 seconds to bumper.
90 seconds to bumper. Guys, this is radio. We are on the radio right now. This is very exciting. And Race, you started the station, right? Can you tell us a little bit about the station before we...
Yes, I started KGRA, digital broadcast station, about 10 years ago. And I sold it about 2 years ago to some really cool guys in Utah who now own it and operate it out of Salt Lake City. And it's a paranormal conspiracy it's just alternative talk radio. We talk about UFOs, Bigfoot, conspiracies, alternative histories, just all of the mysteries of the world. And then, sort of like politics, prophecy, and the supernatural, all of that kind of stuff. And, Kristan kind of anchors the station during the day, runs the midday shift, and we are super proud to have him. He's been here about a month now, and man, it's just amazing the response he's gotten. It's just fantastic. But I love all of the mysteries of the world and alternative histories and big interest in UFOs and that subject as well. So, it's been a blessing for me to be able to work a passion, for a living, essentially, doing what you love. It's not a job. It's just a blessing, really.
Absolutely. I think it's a blessing to be doing BTR as well. When we're getting all these different people together, that is a true blessing. Because normally we wouldn't. Here we go. I think we're starting up right now, aren't we?
Yep. We got bumper rolling. Stand by, Lev. I'll get you counted down here.
The destroyer of fake news.
Welcome, everybody. This is your host, Lev Polyakov. I have taken over the Rundown Live for these next 3 days, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, 12 o'clock. Well, this is Eastern, 12 Eastern, 12 noon Eastern. I'm gonna noon. 12 noon Eastern till 3 p.m. I'm taking over the radio. I'm taking over for Kristan T Harris, and we are talking about life, death, self-improvement. Michael Pamula says destroyer fake news. Oh, you guys heard that in the background, didn't you? Yes, so that's what I got to do. I got to click on the NDI source for you guys to hear it. Anyway, all the radio listeners out there, go to breaktherules.tv. Grab your phone right now. Grab it. Not if you are riding in the car. Just stop the car right now. Stop, not in the middle of the highway, but go to the side. If you're not doing anything, go to the side of the highway, stop the car, grab your phone, type in on Google or whatever, just type in breaktherules.tv, go there. It's going to open up the YouTube app probably. On the YouTube app, click the red button that says subscribe. Do it right now, and I will be forever grateful because we are growing this thing. We had on the Deputy Chief Technologist, former, he's retired now, but we had on the Deputy Chief Technologist of NASA, Jim Adams, for one of our first streams. We were talking about UFOs, and at the same time, we also had my buddy Graventus over. Great guy. He's Orthodox. I think, I don't know if it's Russian Orthodox, it was Christian Orthodox, and he was talking about how aliens are demons, according to Seraphim Rose. And we have a couple of comments over here, just in the latest here. Lev is radio. I know, I'm actually a radio. I'm not a human being. Michael Pamola says, this show is going to be huge! And Jay Wiley says, love the radio broadcasting. Smash the like button if you're on YouTube. That's right. Smash that like button right now. Smash it for the squirrel, the anti-gravity squirrel in the backyard over here behind me. Smash it for my my wavy hair. Smash it for my red beard. I don't know what else you want to smash it for. Smash it for my smashed glasses. I don't know if you guys noticed, but there's like an epoxy on my glasses. You know why? Because I have one of these gravity boots, and these things are amazing. But I had the gravity boots, and I put the gravity boots on. I went to the hallway where there's this pole that I use for, chin-ups. And I know, look at me. I'm like, well, what are you talking about, chin-ups? What chin-ups? Anyway, I'm working out P90X. Look, guys, I have to do like 4 streams this week. So I'm trying to get in some workout yoga time, but it's hard, honestly. But I swear to you guys, I'm going to be back in the working out circuit. Anyway, back to the gravity boots and the broken glasses. I put the gravity boots on. I can hang there for like 5, 10 minutes, maybe even 20 minutes. I can hang there longer than Mussolini. So, and myself says, Lev Voice, if you're currently driving right now, speed up. You've got nothing to lose. Oh my god, some people may actually take that advice, so no, don't do that. So anyway, what am I getting to here? Okay, so I put on the gravity boots. I went onto that thing, the pole. I was hanging upside down longer than Mussolini, and then my brain was just I was so relaxed that I went back to my room, sat on my bed, and I sat right on the glasses. And the moment that I just felt under my butt, just like this, something's going on here, something's wrong, I looked back and like, oh, man, this is the end. I'm not going to be able to do any streams anymore. My glasses are broken. But no, look, I don't need these glasses. Look, I could take them off. Honestly, I could see pretty much everything without them. I got to reach in a little bit more to look at the comments. But honestly, like, I'm not one of those people who cannot live with without glasses. But what I want to do eventually, guys, I want to figure out a way to make my eyes stronger so that I don't need these glasses anymore, so I could sit on as many glasses I want. In fact, that's what I'm going to do. Like, the moment that I am going to have, this breakthrough with being able to see without glasses, I'm just going to jump on the glasses. I'm going to smash them like you're smashing the ego, like you're smashing the broken shells of Adam Kadmon, or whatever they call it in the Kabbalah, smashing the broken shells to bits, crispy little bits. Anyway, let me put the glasses on because I do want to get to some of the comments here that have been going on. And once again, guys, subscribe to Break the Rules. Go to breaktherules.tv right now. And for all the boomers who are watching, I love you. Go to facebook.com/breaktherules, and that's with a 3 with the number 3 instead of the letter E in THC. THC, there we go, Freudian slip. THE. So Break the Rules with a 3, facebook.com/break the rules. Go there right now. All the people who have avatars, anime avatars, I know you secretly have a Facebook account to keep up with the folks, to keep up with the parents, to keep up with your grade school teachers. So go to facebook.com/break the rules as well. I'm not going to know who's who. I'm just going to see some very handsome looking people all of a sudden becoming Facebook subscribers. So, where'd they come from? So anyway, guys, you know what to do. You know the drill. So anyway, let's go over here to the comments and see what's crack-a-lackin'. So each comment on YouTube, 5 calf raises. Okay, so here's the thing about the calf raises. I can do like a lot of calf raises. The only problem, though, is that I need my microphone to go up and down with me, or else you guys are probably going to hear really weird sounds. So usually I save the calf raises part for when other people are speaking. But here's what I'm going to do, guys. Watch the art stream today with Giovanni Panicietti and Paul Talk. Paul Talk is going to not win. Gio is going to win. I am on Team Gio all the way. Team Gio. Anyway, guys, listen. I am going to do, how many do you think I can do? How many calf raises do you think I can do? However many, make it count with some money. And by the way, speaking of money, I have no idea if people have been sending super chats or not. I have not seen any alerts as of yet, but let me actually take a look and see what's crack-a-lackin' there. And guys, super chats. Get those super chats. Keep those super chats coming, but this is also how we grow. a little bit ends up becoming a lot over time. So let me go to Streamlabs. If I am going to find out that people have been sending these super chats all this time and I was not aware of it, I was like, oh, what is wrong with me? What is wrong with me? Bad Lev. Anyway, hopefully that's not going to happen. Hopefully you guys did not send any super chats yet, so I'm not going to feel bad about it, but you can send some super chats now. Guys, breaktherules.tv. So here we go. I see something. Oh man, I do see a super chat that I missed. Okay, here we go. So it is from Sean McNeil. Oh, no. That's something different. That's something different. That is not a super chat. Anyway, myself says, I'm on team conversation. Let's have a conversation. Let's talk about enlightenment. Let's talk about transcendence. But also, let's read a couple of more comments before that. So, Wong Carwai, Superfan, XO, and we are 20 minutes away from my friend Masked Bass. TARD. I am not allowed to say his Twitter handle on the radio, but you guys could probably guess what it is. He is a meme magician. Anyway, Wong Carway Superfan XOXOXO says, driving with your eyes open in the year 2021. I couldn't agree more. Everyone should reel our name is melancholy. Best book I've ever read. I have no idea what that means. Oh, read. Okay. I'm on team coherent synthesis of Geo and Paul's ideas. I'm on team conversation. I'm on team Saxon invasion into the art stream. That is from Alexander. And Pilo says, give money, please. Yes, please give money right now. We need your support. I am watching. I am making sure that we are going to see these things pop up over here. Let me just make sure that I'm not going to eat my words. We have, yes, we do have the restream thing over here, and it is open. So guys, go to, no, not restream. Wait a minute. What am I looking for? Anyway, guys, what is the biggest self-improvement thing you've done, Lev? I'm going to talk about that. I'm going to talk about Kundalini in just a second, but let me actually make sure that we are going to get these little announcements here from the, whatever it's called, Streamlabs, because I ain't seeing Streamlabs over here, and I'm sure it's got to be over here somewhere. So, guys, let me figure out what is crack-lacking over there. I think I'm going to switch this to Sowing Discourse right now. This is going to be another screen temporarily. Don't be alarmed. I am still here. Okay, here is Streamlabs. Maybe Streamlabs wasn't here before, but now it is. Let me just do a quick test, I believe. Yeah, so this is the Streamlabs icon. It's going to be here, so when we get these Streamlabs notifications about the Super Chats, you better believe that I'm going to be answering all of them, all the comments, all the questions. I am here for you. And I know that you are here to make BTR a better place for everyone, to have everybody grow, and I really appreciate it. Anyway, Chris Hastings, what's the biggest Slef, you wrote it Slef. What's the biggest Slef improvement you've done? Okay. I think the biggest self-improvement was meditation. This started at around the time when, I mean, look, let's be honest here. Joe Rogan, he has been responsible for a lot of changes in people's lives. I mean, I know, people make fun of him, but you got to admit that he was responsible for people who were listening to him to change a lot of things about their lives. And for me, it wasn't so much Joe Rogan as I think Wim Hof was on another show. I don't think it was Joe Rogan. I think it was another show, and then he was on Joe Rogan. I think it was on... Let's see, I think it was on Brian Callen's show, actually. So anyway, hold on, I got to get a drink of water. By the way, this is a Flaska bottle over here. These are very good bottles. They've been pumped full of orgonite energy, so you know it's good. Got to charge that Kundalini. Exactly. Good water. Guys, by the way, this is an announcement on the radio. Drink some water right now. If you guys didn't drink water for a long time, all the radio listeners out there, wherever you happen to be, go get some water. Stop your car and get some water. Anyway, oh, and by the way, also speaking of charging Kundalini, we got one of these bricks. We got Orgonite brick over here from Orgonite Andy. Now, this is a test. Orgonite Andy, if you are listening to this, become a sponsor of the show right now, and I am going to shill these Orgonites for you. Okay. Anyway, Pylos, Okay, here's the thing again. I think it's a birthright that we all have as far as this internal energy. And I know, like, we're going to agree to disagree, whatever. You think it's satanic or whatever, Lightbringer, Lucifer, ooh, scary. Look, the scary thing right now is that people are going to be these tube men and women and non-binaries that are going to have their identity go through these tubes based on all these other influences. And it's like, what's going on here? Guys, people are going to be stuck, and in order for us to be unstuck, I think it's about time to go into the astral realm. I think it's about time to, within caution, within safety, try to figure out what is all this? What is all this three-dimensionalness? Like, just look around you. It's amazing. You have all these things that are three-dimensional, and you're three-dimensional, and you're like this example of sacred geometry living in this three-dimensional world, and you are capable of thought. You are capable of imagining things inside of your head. Now, that is an interesting aside. There are some people out there who say that they do not have an internal voice, that they cannot imagine the apple. Well, I want to push it one step further. When you're talking about imagining the apple, people get confused because, like, people could, let's say, for example, think of imagining the apple as imagining something that, just like think of an apple. Like, okay, I think of an apple like I could imagine something being red and a certain shape with the stem and a little worm inside of it, who's trying to feed his family. So he's taking some of the apple nectar and trying to run back into the soil so that his family can eat. It's a heroic worm. They don't make them like that anymore. Anyway, when I'm thinking of the apple, that is one way, but then there is another way to think of the apple. And when I'm talking about, Pilo says, LMAO, it's not scary, it's fake. Well, you're the faker. We'll see who's the faker around here. I'll make you eat those words. If you don't know where that's from Sonic Adventure 2. Very underrated game. I think Sonic Adventure 1, I think I like Sonic Adventure 1 more for the nostalgia factor. Sonic Adventure 2 is a great game because it was the first, I think it was like, these are generational spurts when people start becoming furries. And there is a furry pipeline. Now, the furry pipeline, I could say it's been like different generations. So for, let's say, my generation, the furry pipeline was, why does he look so drained? Are you kidding me? What's so drained about me? Was that my voice? Was that because I was not drinking water? Tell you what, I am not drained at all. I am full of energy right now. Look at me drinking this water. I'm going to get even more energy buff. Don't you dare say that I'm drained. I am not drained. I'm draining in the water. And by the way, here's another thing to get our party started with the energy. So you see this thing over here? Here, you see this thing? There it is. And this is a gong. I'm gonna make it play a little something for you right now. You hear that? Now let me know, is this loud or is this not loud? Yeah, dangerous stuff. Witchcraft right here. Anyway, Sonic Adventure 2. No, before Sonic Adventure 2, if we're talking about like the early cartoons that were back in the day, I mean, look, we could go all the way to like Disney's Robin Hood. I think that's the thing that started the furry stream. The furry stream. Oh God, don't make me remember that. If we're talking about starting like the furry movement, I think it may have been something like Disney's Robin Hood, because that's really like when you had Maid Marian, being drawn, like a sexy woman, but still with the snout. See, the snout for me, that's where it gets problematic. I'm not a fan of snouts. I don't think snouts are attractive. Pig snouts, fox snouts, they've got these little holes in there for the whiskers, I'm sorry, it's too much. It's too much. So for me, growing up, a happy medium that got people into the furry pipeline was Princess Sally Acorn. And I know, like, this is not the first time I've talked about Sally Acorn. For all you guys who are listening to the radio, you remember that Sonic the Hedgehog cartoon on Saturday morning that got replaced by Power Rangers? So that Sonic the Hedgehog cartoon that had Princess Sally Acorn in it, and she was a ground squirrel, not like the squirrel in the back of me. That's a regular squirrel. She was a ground squirrel. Anyway, Princess Sally, she looked like Princess Diana. I think that was the inspiration behind the design. She had that pleasing looking haircut, like she was a redheaded ground squirrel, and she was pretty much nude throughout the entire show. Like, I don't even think she had the vest on for the show. I think she had the vest on for the comic, but she was like an exposed cartoon character. and she had a female body. You know, she had this nice looking hourglass shape. You know, they knew exactly what they were doing. And she was first generation. Second generation, Lola Bunny, Space Jam, a little bit later, like 95, 96, I don't remember when that came out. Lola Bunny, they knew exactly what they were doing. In fact, like they were going over the designs, and the first design, I think, was a little bit more, you know, like Bugs Bunny in a dress, who for some reason people are also attracted to. I don't know what's going on there, don't ask me. Anyway, Lola Bunny, that was phase 2. That was second gen. Third gen, Rouge the Bat. Sonic Adventure 2 came out, and Rouge the Bat was like the embodiment of the, sexual woman with the breast implants of the 2000s. You know, like this overly gaudy look. And Chris Hastings say, why are the animators corrupting the youth with furry fodder? I mean, look, animators are people too, and if you're going to be cooped up all day and not really seeing anybody, so like you're going to project sexuality out there into the world. And look, people have been drawing erotic art for a long time. Now, as far as mixing it up with, again, for me, I draw the line at the muzzle. Colin Lorenzo, thank you so much. Plus 25 autism points to Lev. They knew. Yes, they did. They knew what they were doing. But again, when I say they knew what they were doing, I'm not saying it in a bad way. I'm just saying, like, look, people have... Furries are a psyop. You're exactly right, Pilo. Furries are a psyop. Why would you do talk therapy with anonymous chat? Are you talking about me, Buff? Are you trying to buff me around over here? Well, you're not doing a good job, Buff. I am standing strong and I am standing true to my beliefs. And my beliefs are... What is going on here? Oh, I think... There we go. Okay, so it turns out that the super chat has always been active. It is active. It's going to remain active, and I am so thankful. Oh, that was the super chat icon. Okay, so good. So the super chat worked this entire time, and I am so... Here, I'm going to put over here on the side for everybody. Super chat has been active this entire time, and I am so grateful for that super chat, Lorenzo. You are awesome. Keep those super chats coming. I am so grateful for you. So anyway... Rouge the Bat, I think, look, they knew what they were doing, yada, 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 but the important thing here is that I think that all these furry babes are an embodiment of what was considered to be attractive at the time. So Princess Sally, she had that Princess Diana haircut. And, like, if you compare the two, they look the same, you know? And, like, Princess Diana, she was pretty nice. She was pretty sexy. Now, then you have Rouge the Bat. I don't know who Lola Bunny was based on. I'd go as far as to say I think Lola Bunny was based on Sally Acorn. And you know what else? They have the same voice actress, Kath Soucie, or Saucy, I don't know how to pronounce her name, but she was the voice actress both for Lola Bunny and Princess Sally. They knew exactly what they were doing. That's what I'm talking about. By the way, my friend Sarah, she's the voice of Ash Ketchum. I hope to have her on the show later on. You know, Ash Ketchum for Pokemon, gotta catch 'em all. Oh man, that's why they named him Ketchum. Because they wanted to implant it in people's brains. You gotta catch 'em all. Ash Ketchum. Oh, there we go. I got it now. It's all good. It's all good in the hood. Anyway, Sally, Princess Sally, Sally Acorn. Then we have Rouge the Bat, and after Rouge the Bat, we have... What do we have after Rouge the Bat? No, then the door is open. Because look, guys, then we have the internet. Doors open. Furry art has become not mainstream, but mainstream online. There were so many people. Okay, Colin says, bro, Sally had the denim vest and Rouge was the... No, Rouge was not the goth. No. Here, okay. I don't know if the word bimbo is allowed. I think bimbo should be fine. You know, like bimify, sissified. Anyway, so... I know, you guys tell me afterwards. But anyway, Rouge was kind of like this early 2000s... kind of like quasi-pornographic, like when you saw Jennifer Lopez and Paris Hilton, and, like when you saw women that were bearing it all on the red carpet. I think that was like the Rouge the Bat, MTV, mid-generation MTV energy. I think that's what was going on with Rouge the Bat. And after that, I think the doors were just open for people to, like there were no styles anymore. I don't really see that many styles today. Like I think like 90s, maybe 2000s. There was a bit of it like 2000. I don't even know what the style is right now. Everything is just like mixed and mashed, but there is no style. You know, like back in the day, like in the 1600s, 1700s, you know, like people had the Isaac Newton wigs. Then people had those fancy white powdered wigs. Then people had the, thanks to Napoleon, Napoleon brought in the style, which was like a mix of ancient Greek and something else. Like, he really revolutionized fashion for a time. Then they had the tricorn hats, and you know, they had a specific style there. And then you know, styles change. I don't know what the style is right now, guys. I mean, you tell me, what is the style? It all just seems to be boring and bland. Like, look, I'm wearing a Uniqlo shirt. It's a functional shirt, but it's, you know, it's not like, it's not that stylish. You know, it's just like a standard shirt to keep oneself warm and neutral. So anyway, more comments over here. Colin Lorenzo, it was a total op. Lev coming to conclusions that 6-year-old me picked up. Good for you, DJ Sweets. You are absolutely right. Shock 9099. Sonic, he's got an attitude. He's the fastest thing alive. Yes. And by the way, lyrics. Blue streak speeds by too fast for the naked eye. See, already, they knew what they were doing. They put the word naked in there. Naked, Sally Acorn, naked eye, naked Sally, Sally naked, Sally naked. You see, it's all, she's not wearing any clothes, guys. Come on. This is what we're talking about. Anyway, see, this is what I'm talking about. It's all being implanted inside, and break is coming up right now, guys. So, wait, is break coming up right now? I see Rundown Live says break is coming up. Let's see what's going on here. Do I have any comments over here from Race? What is crack-a-lackin'? Okay, I do not. So, yeah, I think we can keep going right now, but he says coming up. Okay, so what I'm going to try to do during break is bring on my friend Masked Bass, and I'm going to say then T-A-R-D, so you guys could probably guess what exactly that is. And once again, guys, thank you so much for watching. This has been a furry section, because there needs to be a furry section. People have to find out, what are all these topas that people are building, creating, all these machinations of the human mind that's being propelled by the passions of the gods. Because there is a universe out there, guys, where there is a Sally Acorn, and where is the Rouge de Bat. Sally's behind, because this is the radio, so I'm not allowed to say that word. Sally's derriere was always exposed. Now everyone is obsessed with derriere. The OP worked, boys. Knuckles was God. I don't think. Wait, no. Knuckles wasn't. No. There a goth in the Sonic universe? I don't know. You guys tell me. Christian Hastings, masked son of an unmarried woman, stream of unconsciousness. I don't know if that's a compliment or not. Knowing Buff, I don't think that is. But anyway, Buff, I love you for watching this. Buff, why don't you become a patron? Why don't you send me some money? You're always watching this. Come on. Buff, do me a solid right now, and will forever, you know, I'll talk about how Putin loves the Amur tigers and how he's conserving them. How about that? Is that a fair trade? Well, no, Knuckles, I guess he was sort of a jock. He was like I always thought he's like a Rastafarian in a certain respect. But I don't know. Knuckles, he lives on that island. By the way, Emerald, yeah, the Master Emerald, he guards the Master Emerald, and he is, he has a tough exterior and a soft interior, I don't know, name me like where's the cream filling, twink. Knuckles is a Twinkie, or a twink, whatever you want to call it, but he is red, and he glides, and I respect him for that. Anyway, enough about the furries. We've talked so much about the furries. We have a squirrel behind us for all the furries who are interested, by the way, in YouTube. So for all of you radio listeners who happen to be furries, who want to rebuke what I was saying, I dare you to come on the stream. I dare you to come on, break the rules. I mean, you can't call in today, you can call in tomorrow, but I dare you to come in to break the rules into the chat and tell me why I'm wrong, and why this furry brainwashing is actually a good thing. Blah, 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 and that's why it's a good thing. So Colin Lorenzo says Knuckles wasn't goth, he was like an emo kid from the hood, or some weird hybrid. Yes, I agree, he was an emo kid from the hood. He was, yeah. Anyway, enough about the furries. I've had it this much with the furries. But the reason why I bring the furries up is because they're like tulpas. They're like these machinations of the imagination that we always have to a certain extent. It's all about what you want to focus on, man. Where do you want to direct the third eye, man? Because the third eye, it's like an arrow. And whatever you shoot the arrow into, whatever you focus on, that element is going to change your reality as well as change the reality of whatever it is you're looking on. So the Kabbalists consider the relationship between people and God to be a relationship going both ways, where God influences people as much as the people influence God. So the people's consciousness ends up changing the consciousness of God. Now, of course, if we're talking about, the entire universe out there, obviously that's a big amount of people. And if some people are going to spend all their day, smashing their PlayStation 2s, and saying, good riddance, I hate all these cyberbullies, I'm just going to destroy my PlayStation 2. I don't know what I'm talking about. The point is that if you're going to have people spending all their time in constant dread and agony and destroying things, like, I think that God, Charles Khan, aka Masked BASTARD, is ready to come on right after the break, so we are going to be bringing him on, and he's a great dude, and I love him. He is a me magician, and maybe he's going to talk a little bit about furries. Now, he has a Ninja Turtle as his avatar, and would you say that Ninja Turtles are furries? Like, if you were to, I know there are scalies, but they're not scalies, they're turtles. Now that I think about it, has anybody shown up to a furry convention as a turtle? I've seen lizards, I've seen bats, I've seen foxes. Well, foxes, that's like everybody's a fox, but I have not seen I've not seen turtles. So we got to take a look at that. We got to find some turtles, and we got to bring those turtles into the furry convention. And it could be like a Ninja Turtles thing. And inside of their shell, they would have, they would have something special. They would have something special inside of their shell that they want to introduce into the furry convention. And because they believe in something. Anyway, I'm not gonna say any more about that. And Shock 9099 says straight from Sonic to Kabbalah. Of course, that's how it goes. I mean, look, Sonic the Hedgehog is all about occult influences, and this is something that I'm going to talk about after the break. In fact, I did a whole video about the amount of occult stuff that is inside of the Sonic the Hedgehog video games. This is a whole video I did back in the day with my friend Monica Walker. I did a Tumblr post about it as well, back when I actually used to use the Tumblr. It's still around. It's not really doing anything. Anyway, tons of all of these occult influences everywhere you look. But again, to me, like I was saying in the beginning of the stream, occult does not mean evil. It means hidden. And I'm not going to say that everything is always hidden for a good reason. There are people out there who don't know certain vitamins you could take, certain dietary choices. Look, the 1990s was full of stupid things like Slim Fast and, things that, I know Slim Fast is still around, but anyway, it was full of these stupid diets talking about how eggs are bad for you, fat is bad for you, all this crazy nonsense, and people were eating it up just like they were eating up the low-fat, high-sugar cereals and all this garbage they were engulfing into their gullet. So my point here, guys, is that people were wrong and they were led astray, and things were hidden from them. The magic of fat was hidden from people. It was hidden by this idea, with the sugar lobby and the corn lobby, and all these people are like, no, fat is bad for you. So again, the powers and principalities are not just limited to the things that are beyond this realm. They are in this realm, and they are also going to obfuscate things, and they are going to pretend like they are showing you the light. Meanwhile, they're just keeping you in the darkness. And maybe you can say some people ain't ready. Maybe some people are not ready to experience the light. Fair enough. But I think that at this point, people are going to, I keep saying, people are going to become such tubes through the use of AI. They're going to become such cells in the body of this giant artificial intelligence robot that's going to command them to think a certain way and act a certain way, that the only way out, I think, is for us to start going within and to start seeing what exactly is going on in there. And as long as our intentions are not to hurt people or to gain power from, abusing people or doing bad things to people, as long as it's not that. And I think that we have mind enough to be able to judge whether or not that is the case. Then why not go down that road? Again, like the more things I'm looking at right now, the more that I'm seeing that it is possible to go through, break through. And people were asking before about what was my breakthrough and all that. I'm going to get to that after the break as well, and talk about the occultness of Sonic the Hedgehog. Let's see, how many minutes do we have until break starts? I am not exactly sure, because Kristan said that there would be a break. Perhaps Kristan is mistaken. Perhaps he is, because I am not having any message from Race yet. So, you know what I'm going to do? I am going to bring on Charles Kahn on right now. It doesn't matter if we're going to go to a break. It really does not. Let me see where he is. I am going to get Charles Kahn on this thing. And once again, everybody who is listening to this right now, don't forget to subscribe. BreakTheRules.tv. Buff says, how much would you need to read of the Kabbalah before talking about it? Again, like, I know that I'm not going as deep into the nature of the Kabbalah, and that there is way more to talk about. But I think broad strokes may not be a bad thing sometimes. Just talking about the experience that other people have had with it. And again, I know I'm a tube. I know that I am a tube relaying incomplete information about something. But this is where our gut instincts come in. And most people, that's what they're relying on mostly. They are relying on these gut instincts. So anyway, over here, let me go and grab Charles Kahn for you guys. Charles Kahn, he is a meme magician. He is a great guy, and let's see what's going on in the Skype window. I hope that it loads. It is white right now. I am not sure what is going on with the Skype window, but you guys can hear me right now. You guys see me. You guys see the chat, so hopefully we're going to be back. This is what happened when I press the Skype window. I am seeing a white screen. So let's see some other comments over here while we're trying to figure out what the heck is going on with Skype. So, Shock 1999, and in the Chinese films recently, their rather urban feeling seems more like a piecemeal cafeteria approach to theological or esoterica. Again, Buff, you are absolutely right on that. It is important to go deeper on these things. People spend like years, like 40 years. It says like you're not even allowed to be like, you're supposed to be like 40 years old before talking about it. But still, when you see certain big brushstrokes, I don't think it means that, oh, you are not allowed to even talk about this stuff. I'm going to talk about the brushstrokes, and then I'm going to go deeper into whatever is going on. And I'm going to figure out what is going on with Skype right now. I am seeing a white screen, and I'm not seeing anything else. But as long as you guys over here on YouTube can hear me, let me know what's going on the radio side of it as well, Race, because I did bring him in, but it is a white screen right now on Skype, and I'm not sure what's going on. So, again, BreakTheRules.tv, go in there right now, and I love you, and I appreciate you, and let's see what else is going on Twitter right now. So, we are also supposed to have Bennett's phylactery coming in here later on, and he is a Mormon, and that will be a very interesting conversation to have with Mormons as well. So what else do we have over here? Geo says, my internet's back, thank God. Geo, buddy, why don't you join us over here as well? So I'm going to try to grab you in. Why don't you join us for this convo now? Let's see what he says. Cream of Dog, I believe, is going to be on here. And Quasi says, invite me on or experience very bad luck in 2021. Let's see over here. Quasi. Okay, I'm going to try to get Quasi on right now. But let's see. I don't know what his email is. So send me Skype thing. Send me Skype thing. Okay. And I'm going to try to get in touch with Kristan T Harris right now to figure out whether people are even hearing me right now, because this is so weird. The Skype window is just all white. Ever since I pressed that button, I don't know what's going on, and I'm going to figure that out. And thank you guys so much for bearing with me, because I want to bring these people on. Yes, get Geo. I am trying to get Geo. Don't worry about that. Geo is a great guy, and he's going to be joining us soon enough. So let's go into Messenger over here and see what's going on. Facebook Messenger. This is what I'm relying right now to find out whether... Here we go. Kristan says, commercial break. That was 12:28. So, okay. Let's see if everything is all right. So, Kristan. Oh, he says I'm live. Great. Okay, good. I am live, but for some reason the screen is white, and I am not able to see anything on the screen at all. I am on the radio, and I am so honored to be here on the radio, being here with all you guys. I have no idea what's going on the screen, but I'm just going to ignore it. Hopefully, we're going to get some more people on. In fact, let's see. Maybe I'm going to send Race the Skype handles of my friends Charles Kahn and Gio, and you guys bring them on, because for some reason this whole thing is frozen on my end, and I'm not really sure what to do about that. So anyway, guys, let's go to questions over here. Let's see what else we got. Shock 1999. Zohar studies with Andrew Meyer. Yes, please. Andrew actually should be an upcoming guest to the show. So hopefully he's going to be able to come in here. Hopefully he's going to be able to come into this radio stream and talk about the Kabbalah with us. But even here, like the Kabbalah, it has all these different groups, gangs, if you will, of people who study one professor, or whatever you want to call it, versus another. So there is a Kabbalah with Rav Berg, who claims descendancy from like one of the main guys, like a very influential teacher. But then there's also Michael Lightman, who, you know, he's not a rabbi, and he's an interesting guy. He speaks Russian, by the way, and he is someone that the Rav Berg crowd, which Andrew belongs to, does not like. And, you know, he's going to say, like, you know, if you want to go with him, whatever. But I still think that there is like a rivalry, like a spiritual rivalry going on between these two different sides. And I think that, I'll be honest, I think that the nature of shilling is always going to be there. Like, it doesn't matter, even if you are a holy person or whatever, you're going to shill. And, you know, because it's all free market at the end of the day. So, yes, Charles Kahn says, I can hear you, but I don't think you can hear me. Guys, do you hear Charles Kahn speaking at all? Because let me see what's going on here. I'm going to go into NDI source, and hopefully, if I close down Skype and open it back on, I'll be able to be there with him. So let me see if I can grab Charles Kahn. Skype, let's see, Global Radio Alliance, active speaker. I see some other thing over here. Maybe this is Charles. We are figuring it out right now, and I'm so happy for you guys to be here. So Charles, let me see if this is you over here. So speak right now. I don't think that is Charles. Let me go back and let me try another one over here. So, and guys, once again, breaktherules.tv. I am really appreciative of you listening to this. You are amazing, and we love you all. So here we go. Let's try another one. Let's try active speaker. Let's see if that works. Here we go. Okay. Let's see. Nope. Nothing works over here. I don't know why the NDI source is not working. I think that I may be having a problem with Skype, but I am on the radio. I am all the way live, which I'm very grateful for. So I'm not going to stop this broadcast until I get the message that we are on break, at which point I'm going to close Skype and open it back up, because for some reason I'm just seeing a white screen. I'm going to try one last thing, Global Radio Alliance. So this is the Race over here. I'm going to click that, and let's see. Race, can you hear me? Can I hear you? There is nothing coming through for Race either. I am all alone. I feel like an astronaut that's been stranded in space right now. And Pilo says, please talk about Kabbalah. I shall until the break comes. But guys, I'm going to have to look at Facebook right now and Kristan to let me know what is going on. You have to add a live... you live add person to existing Skype, his audio settings. Kristan, I agree with you, but my Skype screen is all white, and I'm not going to fidget around with it right now because I don't want to be off air. What I'm going to do instead is you tell me when the break comes, and when the break comes, I am going to close Skype and then open back up. But enough about this. You guys, look, listen, you guys are not here to hear me talking about Skype. That's stupid. Why would you guys spend time hearing a person complain about technical issues? So instead of all that jazz, I want to talk about the Kabbalah, at least what I know. So the nature of the Kabbalah, from what I understand, it's another system of it's another spiritual system, just like the 7 chakras and all that. These things are all interrelated. They all are blueprints, I think, of like our consciousness, who we are as this embodied being, as well as higher spiritual levels. So, for example, you would have the 7 chakras going from the root chakra, like, you know, like survival instincts, down to like sexual procreation, you know, the 2nd chakra, 3rd chakra. It talks about what do you call it? And obviously, you could hear me, right? So let me know, Pylos. I hope that you can still hear me, that everything's okay with my voice. It should be, because I am seeing myself speak. Anyway, we have the third chakra, fourth chakra, which is the heart chakra, and the third chakra, which is like the wind chakra, whatever you call it. No, fire. It's the fire chakra. It's the burning energy that's inside of me right now that hopes everything is going to go well, technically speaking. Then we have the heart chakra, which is balancing everything out. That's why you have like the Star of David shape. That's why you have the two triangles that are meeting up together. That's supposed to represent Shiva and Shakti. It's supposed to represent oneness meeting up together with the animated energy of the universe, which is oneness manifested into multiplicity, into this, into time, into space, into all these things. So the heart chakra represents the balance between these two aspects. Then we have the throat chakra, and the aspect of the throat chakra, I believe, is, and Pat F says, Kabbalah, pneumogram. Okay, I'm going to take a look at what pneumogram is. But again, if we're talking about systems, like, okay, fine, you may not like Kabbalah, but all the Kabbalah is doing, it's trying to put in writing and put into a certain system something that exists, whether we want it to exist or not. Something that is as clear as the sun, that we look out and see. So for me, it's not a matter of saying, like, do I like Kabbalah? Do I not like Kabbalah? Some people think Kabbalah means like Cabal, like the secret Cabal that's plotting against us and all that, and, how certain things are Kabbalistic rituals. Again, that's like saying that, it's like blaming the sun for being hot and causing a drought. We're talking about things that exist whether we want them to exist or not, and the systems that we use to document them, and it's more about how do we use these systems? How do people use these systems? And I think the use is a responsibility, and the responsibility comes with the awareness of what these systems are. So maybe you're right if we're talking about like Pylos. I think a big concern for you, and I don't want to speak for you, but I think a big concern for you would be if people misuse these systems to such an extent that they have knowledge of how they work, but they also have the knowledge of how to screw people over using them. And I think that these things balance themselves out. I don't think you keep doing that without there being something bad that's going to occur to you later on, maybe in another life, maybe in some other way. But to me, I really think that these people are delaying the inevitable if we're talking about people misusing them. Now, you could say that people learn about these spiritual technologies and then they start applying them for selfish reasons. And again, I think with all these things, there is a karmic debt that you end up paying if you misuse things. And you could say, well, you know what? Karmic debt, be that as it is, it's still going to cause suffering today. I could see that point of view. And like I said before in the stream, we're at a point right now where things are coming to a head, where we have AI, where we have all these ways of people being influenced and being zombified and stupefied by the machine gods, that I think the one counteraction to this would be to be able to actually understand what we are. Because if we don't understand what we are, if we don't learn about this, then I think what's going to end up happening is people are going to be trapped in another box, and then they're going to be trapped in the box within that box, and so on and so forth. You could say we're already trapped in an infinite amount of boxes, but at least the box we're trapped in right now lets us recognize that there is something above, that there is something beyond the box that we're trapped in, and that is something that I think is going to go further and further away from people as they keep trapping themselves in more boxes. This phone right here, this is another box, and I don't want people to be trapped in more and more boxes as they go into these virtual realms of existence and, just become these pink fox people that are just yiffing around. I think yiff is fine on the radio. They don't know what yiff is. So, just yiff around with other furries, other virtual furries in this wonderland. And eventually what happens to you? If you're not struggling against anything, if you're just yiffing around all day, then I think eventually you are going to experience a state of becoming an animal. Like, you want to be a furry and you're going to become an animal. Yes, I do hear you now. Hey, it's a little bit low though, so I'm not sure what's going on. Again, my Skype screen is all white. I feel like I have to close it and open it back up again so that I can actually see what's going on it. But I'm going to save that for the break. So I'm not sure when the break is coming, but whenever it's coming, that's when I'm going to do it, okay? Excellent. And I don't know if anybody else could hear you, so let me just make sure over here. Let me go into NDI source, and let me see if you guys could hear this fella over here. So NDI source, let's see, active speaker, Global Radio Alliance. Yes, I'm going to have to figure it out right now. Let's see. Okay, try again. Try speaking right now. And everybody subscribe to Break the Rules right now.
Subscribe. That's Break the Rules over on YouTube.
Yes, it is. And I do hear you speaking. And Pilo says, rejoin humanity. I agree. But again, what are we? What are we as humanity? I think that these experiences that we have right now of humanity is still it's still pretty temporary. Like, I think that there are other things that we can experience. But what do you think, Charles Kahn? What do you think about humanity?
Nothing lasts forever. Life consumes life, even all the way down to plants. If you're just going to eat plants, plants are alive. Everything breathes. Everything has to move and live. All the way down to an earthworm, to birds in the sky, to people. Like, we're all part of the same thing. Part of the same consciousness, and it's like you said, it's all temporary. Like, nothing lasts, everything rots, everything decays, everything has to die. And trying to wrap your head around that is a fairly hard concept for people to deal with. The thought that your best friend, or even me talking to you now, like, at some point, you're gonna die, I'm gonna die, and all that'll be left is a story of us. The concept that we were will be a lingering idea in some people's minds that knew us and loved us, and people can't take that. People don't take that well. People like I've spoken to people that have like I say that to them, and they freak out, and I say, well, it's like, the tide comes in and the tide goes back out. The sun rises, the sun sets. People live, people die. It's the same thing. And then go all the way down to think of a light switch. The light switch comes on, and then it's flipped off.
What do you think about reincarnation? Are you in the camp of reincarnation, or in the camp of this is the one life we have to live and that's it?
I am open to the possibility of reincarnation. I think, the idea that this is it is, I find that deeply troubling. Because anybody I talk to that thinks that this is it, I just don't believe in that. I think there has to be something more, some greater purpose to what we're doing.
Well, greater purpose, I could agree there. But as far as whether it's reincarnation into a different life, or whether it's like, just going to heaven and joining up with God, and then that's it. Do you lean more on the reincarnation or the joining up with God in heaven or hell?
I mean, it could go either way. I feel like, maybe some people want to rejoin with God, whatever form that is. If we're just going to become a part of a light or a energy, or if it's as depicted in cartoons where there's angels and clouds everywhere and people playing harps.
By the way, real quick, Shane says tell him to stop gargling the mic. So there is a bit of gargling sound going on. I'm not sure exactly where it's coming from.
His headset.
Ah, okay. Well, that's
I think you've got.
Oh, by the way, you're really quiet right now, so there's got to be a balance here. Make sure.
Let me choke back up on that mic.
Okay.
Because it's either or right now. The idea of reincarnation goes into karma, and I think karma is very real. Like, you get back what you put out. Carson Daly really had it right with that one. My name is Earl joke. The idea that what you do now could affect where your next life is, like, that's just about every religion has some version of it, some form of it. And the thought that, well, if I'm a good person, the thought that altruism doesn't really exist because people are motivated to do good based solely on the idea that, well, I'm gonna get this back later. I find that troubling. That there is no such thing as, well, I'm just a good dude, I'm going to be good to people. Because I tend to think, well, I just want to be good to people. Like, that's the whole thing is let's just be good. Let's do unto others as others do unto us. Let's live under that rule, but the opposite. if I'm going to go up to everybody as this goofball friendly guy, then if somebody's going to be a jerk to me, well, that's him explaining to me that he would like me to be a jerk back to him, and I'll let him know what a jerk really looks like.
Well, do you believe in that Gandhi quote about an eye for an eye makes the world blind, or are you more in favor of that kind of stuff?
Well, if somebody had done me wrong, I would feel that it depended on how wrong they done me. I feel like I would have to go Old Testament on them. Like I feel like I can't let that go. I would love to, what is it? Let vengeance be mine, I think was the quote from the Bible. I would love to do that, but I feel like I am human in such a way that I can't let stuff like that slide. I would have to come back. I would have to, even if it was like Peter Thiel, where they had Gawker had outed him while he was in, I believe he was in Saudi Arabia, which has laws against being out, and so he had to rush in the middle of the night to get on an airplane to get out of there. Like that threatened his life. Like he could have been killed for that. And it was many years later when the Hulk Hogan thing hit that he was able to finally, get retribution on him. And for years he carried that around with him. And I wonder, is it better to let stuff go and be like, well, maybe they didn't mean to threaten my life, or do you walk around going, I'm gonna get him? The Count of Monte Cristo thing, where it's just like, I'm gonna get him. I'm gonna plot my revenge.
And don't spoil that book, because I'm reading it right now. I know that he's gonna do some revenge stuff, but
that's the whole thing. It's revenge.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the beauty. That's the beauty of the universe and energy, or whatever you want to call it, is that everything aligns up just perfectly. Like of all the things for me to pull out, County Monte Cristo, it just happened to be that's the book that you're reading right now.
Yeah, it is. It is a really good book.
Yeah.
We all got to read some more literature. Well, what is the best book that you've read?
The best book that I've read? I don't know. I'm quite the fool. I feel like for me, my literary tastes tend more towards a Batman comic book or a Spider-Man, something more entertaining like that. But I have listened to quite a few books, and I think the most succinct, like really hits its point, and you get it, and it's still entertaining. It has to be Animal Farm. To wrap it all the way back to what you were saying before about animal people and that sort of thing. Like the Animal Farm is so...
The furries, you mean?
Yeah, the furry stuff. It's so on the money for this is how it starts. This is how it happens. You see the corruption, it just slowly grows where, all right, the old pig tells them, how things should be, and they overthrow the farm, and then slowly, bit by bit, it just gets worse and worse. And if I close my eyes, I can just think of what happens to the horse, the old workhorse that just, I'm going to work harder, guys.
The Protestant horse, the Protestant work ethic.
Yeah, it is quite the book where I believe they were building a windmill and the horse gets injured. And so the pigs say, "Oh yeah, we'll send him off to the vet," and then they realize that they're sending him off to the glue factory that the pig sold him. And it's just,
yeah, it's pretty sad.
Yeah,
Poor horse.
Pretty dark. It is a dark book, and it ends with the pigs standing on their hind feet, acting like the men, and they've changed the rules. They changed the rules several times throughout the book that they wrote. It's a heck of a piece of fiction.
Definitely. So let me see. I wonder if we are on break right now, though, because I have not gotten any message again. Let me check on Facebook. Oh, standing by. Okay, good. Yeah. Whew. I was afraid that would not work. So, guys, we are going to break right now on the radio. Please keep listening, and don't forget to subscribe to BreakTheRules.tv. Grab your phones. Do it right now. Subscribe to BreakTheRules.tv, and we will love you forever.
Okay, bro, we're in the clear, and there's 5 minutes in this break.
Excellent. Okay, look, I don't know what's going on with Skype because it's just like a white window. I don't see anything. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to exit Skype and then go back in, okay? But would I be able to add people then, or would you be the only one who can do that?
No, if you just call me back, you'll be able to add whoever you need.
Excellent. Okay,
so we can bring Geo
close
in.
this call down.
Yes.
We'll close this call down, and you just call me back and reset it.
Excellent. Excellent. Okay, let's see here. Skype. Yeah, it's so weird. The window is still white.
Yeah, doing radio is it's a tricky proposition because you don't know, because you just picture 3 Rose Bowls full of people and you don't know who's listening.
Exactly. But here, I'm going to end Skype right now, and I'm going to... Here. All right, guys. You guys probably still hear me because I haven't gone away yet. I'm right here. Paul Talk says, bring it on. Wander says, the man is here. By the man, you mean Paul Talk? Well, Geo, I think, is 1,000 times the man that Paul... I mean, look, I respect Paul Talk. I mean, I appreciate you coming in here and all that, yada, yada, yada. But look, like I said before, I'm on Team Geo. G-I-O, Geo. Giovanni Panicietti, the Med Bull. The Med Bull. He's great. He's the Brazen Bull. Anyway, let's see. I think I am... Let's see, am I in the call or not? Let's see. Here. Video call. Let me try to do this. This should probably work. Waiting for others to join. Interesting. Okay. Here we go. Excellent. I am back. Charles, are you here? Oh, and also I want to bring Geo on. Can I add him into the call as well right now? Okay, excellent. All right, guys. You want Geo? He's coming in here. I'm too geopolitical to betray Geo. Thank you, Wong Kar Wai Superfan XOXOXO. Paul Talk says, I'm just a mouse. No, man. I love you. You're great. You're all great. I really appreciate everybody being here. Yada, yada, yada. So I am going to figure out what is crack-a-lackin' with these screens as well right now on Skype. So... yeah, you see over here me fidgeting around with OBS. So, all right, that was the Streamlabs. And what is this? Oh, actually, I don't need this Streamlabs icon. Okay, so I have NDI source. So this is why I usually do Zoom, because Zoom is like a reliable workhorse. I don't have to have these stupid multiple windows here. So let's see what's going on here. Local, active speaker, global radio line. See, here's the weird thing. Like, I don't see Charles Kahn anywhere. Like, I see these... Hello!
Can you hear me again?
Yes, I can. So, Charles, do you have, by the way, a camera or no? I don't remember right now. Are you on camera?
I can set up the camera. It's around somewhere in here.
If you set the camera up, then I'll know which account here is yours, because I put it on NDI Source 2. Can you speak right now again for a bit?
Hello.
Yes, okay, that's good. So, NDI Source 2 is correct, but the source name over here... Live, local, active speaker, global radio alliance. Like, I don't know why I'm not seeing your account here. Like, if I do local, just out of curiosity. Let's see. Speak right now? Oh, that's me. Okay, so local is me. That's weird. So instead of that, I'm going to put it to active speaker. No, ID. Here we go. Okay, so this should be you. Okay, speak again.
Hey.
Excellent. That
Charlie.
was a good Krusty the Clown impression. So,
Hey.
Okay, so let's see what else here. I'm gonna try to bring Geo in. I don't know where he is, and also I wonder why your monitor is not being seen. I guess Skype doesn't really work that way, right? Because on Zoom, whatever avatar you choose to display would usually be displayed. Echo? Okay, well, that was passed. There should be no more echo now. I know what you're talking about. No more of that. So. Sound should be nice and good and clean. And anyway, let me go into the chat over here. I keep getting this annoying thing on the side. So anyway, guys who are listening to this, I really, really appreciate you still being here, listening to BTR Break the Rules, our very first radio broadcast. And questions. If you have questions for Geo should be coming in here real soon. I'm very excited about him and Paul Talk duking it out today, 5 o'clock. Don't forget, Go there right now. Be sure to reserve. I mean, it doesn't really matter when you reserve it, but reserve it right now so you don't forget. Mark down. It's happening 5 o'clock. So, yes, it is good now. It's all good in the hood. So let me see what's going on the phone. I was watching a really good stream. I mean, I'm still watching it. The stream with Lex Friedman and Michael Malice. And I really want to get Michael on the show. By the way, Michael Malice, if you're listening to this right now, come on BTR. I would love to have you in as a guest. Very interesting guy. So let me see what's going down here. Stream. Yes, we are live over here. It's good now. I'm seeing everything. And I really appreciate everybody watching this. Anyway, Masked. I could probably say your name now because we're not live on the air. Masked Bastard. There, I said it. I said it. Okay, so...
I am that bastard.
Yes, well, speaking of bastardry...
Here we go, brother. I'm going to count you down. We're ready.
All
okay.
Right, here we go. Back to Iowa.
In 5, 4, 3, 2...
Welcome, everybody, to the last part of the Break the Rules radio stream. I am your host, Lev Polyakov, a.k.a. Lev Po on Twitter. And for all the radio listeners who are just joining us right now and thinking, where is Kristan? Well, Kristan had to go to Washington, D.C. right now for a very special event that's coming up. And I think we're going to get into that a little bit later, too. But he took it upon me to be in charge. I am large and in charge right now on this stream. I have taken over this stream. This is now the Break the Rules stream. You can find us on breaktherules.tv. I'm telling you right now, guys, go there right now. You are missing out. We are the greatest, most underrated podcast / live stream, whatever you want to call it, in all of YouTube history. We have had amazing guests on. We have had Charles Carroll on from $1 Million Extreme. We had Eli Schiff talking about flat art. You don't know what flat art is? Well, find out if you go and watch that stream. We have had Aiden Paladin. We have had Frank Hassel. We have had so many amazing guests, and this is just getting started for us. We are going to do great things with the help of all of you, and don't forget to go to patreon.com/breaktherules, TH3, not an E. Break the rules of the 3, patreon.com/breaktherules, become a patron. So Masked, BASTARD. I'm not going to say your full name here for the radio.
Oh,
yes.
That's
But
me.
that is you. We had a comment recently from Buff saying, is that the guy from the drug stream that didn't see... Well, you were not on the... Wait, were you on... Yeah, you were on the drug stream.
I was on the drug stream, yes.
Yeah.
My suggestion was about the needle man. That was the one joke I got in. It's always so difficult with a panel show. I always feel like I'm just going to shout over other people, but I guess that's sort of what's expected.
Indeed.
I just try to wait my turn to be thrown to.
To be thrown to the wolves.
Yeah.
Well, Buff says, is that the guy from the drug stream that didn't see a problem with children consuming porn because something the woods Playboy? So can you expand on that?
I made the joke about the porn in the woods. It's not necessarily that it's, it is a problem for sure. The idea that kids are going to get exposed to stuff. But if you say, well, because every comedian on podcast, that was a running joke, is that independent of one another, that all of them, like your Bill Burrs and Joe Rogans, things of that nature, they've all, at some point when they were like 13, 14, walking through the woods, just happened upon, there's an old stack of Playboys. Just this weird shared experience that all these characters had of finding weird porn out in the woods. I imagine that's the sort of thing that's not happening now. Now it's just like everything, just the worst of the worst, right in front of everybody at all times. And I think that is a problem for society for sure. That sort of thing is front and center everywhere. I mean, you look at Instagram. That's all Instagram is just butt girls. Like, that's all I think of as butt girls. When I think Instagram, it's just front and center. Like, hey, look at me. The Nerd City does a thing called Thought Patrol, exposing what these girls are up to. They have this liquefy tool in Photoshop where they just, I'm motioning with my hands. They move the background and everything, and it looks unnatural and strange, and that can't be good for people to see that and think, oh, look how good they look, and then not looking close enough to be like, oh, well, she warped the tiles on this whole building. Like, she's destroyed this gate. She's destroyed all this stuff around her, trying to make herself look more curvaceous or more appealing.
Well, do you think that there is a battle going on right now between the breasts and the butts?
Oh, there's always been a war there. That's certainly it can go hot and cold depending upon the time of day.
Interesting. So, I have a comment from Gio saying that he forgot that something came up. So we are gonna have Gio on today for 5 o'clock for the art stream. At least I hope we will. Let me just make sure. Well, that would be so weird if he has something coming up for the art stream. So he should definitely be there for the art stream, guys. Don't you worry. And Bennett, who was supposed to be here, he says wasn't able to set up Skype with anonymous number. I'll see if I can figure something out tomorrow. Okay, indeed. So Bennett's phylactery, which I have no idea what that means, aka Extra Dead JCB, who got banned from Twitter recently for I don't know why. Maybe we can talk about it on air when he comes in.
Oh, that darn Twitter.
Yeah, that darn Twitter. But anyway, he is a Mormon, and I think he is also part of what's called Desnat. I don't know if you guys heard about Desnat. It's like a Deseret nationalism or Deseret nation. I'm not sure exactly which one it is, but it's supposed to be like this. I don't know if it's a Mormon offshoot. I think it's not an offshoot. I think it's within Mormonry. I don't know if you call it Mormonry.
Mormonry?
Mormonry. I think it's within Mormonry, and it's just a much more conservative sect having to do with.
How do they get more conservative?
There's a way. No, I think that the more quote unquote degenerate things get, the more the other side ups the ante on being more conservative. And I think there is a bit of an ego play over here, like saying like, you guys think that you can take over the world with all your furries and things like that, and well, we're gonna up the ante with the traditionalism, with the dresses, and with Joseph Smith and all that stuff. I really do think that there is an ego power play going on here for different ideologies, where people just want to show off, like, oh, you think you can grab people's consciousnesses? Well, I'm going to be the one who's going to take charge and change the way everybody is, and we're going to go back to the better time, and I'm contributing to it. I'm part of the team. And maybe there's nothing wrong with that at the end of the day, but some people just take it so much that they think like they're going to be, the next, the next savior or whatever. I don't know.
I mean, the buzzword would be virtue signaling. That's the idea that, look at what I'm into. Look at this, and this is our traditional values, and this is what we're doing. Everybody wants to show off what they believe and how they believe, and how much better they are than the other guys. Like, look at us, and we're better than that section of this. Like, this is us. And whatever floats people's boat. Like, it's a big world out there. If people want to wear dresses and do that sort of thing, or if people want to be going to furry conventions and whatever happens at the furry convention, like who can say?
Yes.
Oh, we have a new guest over here, by the way. Guys, give a warm welcome to Quasi, and that is Breviloquo on Twitter. So, would you agree with...
yes, are we live?
We are live. We're live. We are all the way live. And guys, don't forget to subscribe to breaktherules.tv. So...
you're breaking up. I don't know if it's on my side.
I think it may be on your side because I'm hearing Charles Kahn well. And Charles Kahn, you're hearing me well as well, right?
Oh, absolutely, brother. Loud and clear.
There we go. Loud and clear. So, yeah, buddy, it's got to be on your side, whatever problem is. But if you can hear what I'm saying right now, just tell us a little bit about yourself, how you discovered BTR, and anything else.
How I discovered myself, our mutual friend, I think a mutual friend, John Pelec. I don't know if you know him.
Oh, of course. John Pelec, yeah.
Yeah, he invited me. I was on like an earlier episode with some like lady who worked at like Playboy or something, and him and a bunch of other people. And he invited me on because he knew I was such a genius, and much better. I had better opinions than all the people on at the time. So that's how I came to know you. And then I just I threatened you. I threatened you with a little curse to get on the show.
Yeah,
sadly.
that always works, doesn't it? That's how
Yeah,
you get the
classic
one-way pass to
email.
BTR.
Yeah. Little 2016 Reddit upvote this your mother will die moment.
Well, I have a lot of
Um,
protective dogs downloaded.
Oh yeah. That was a moment in
Although
history.
my
What
favorite
are
one
we?
though, my favorite one though is
Uh-huh.
Heavenly Pete. You know Heavenly Pete, right?
I don't remember that.
So Heavenly Pete here, I'm gonna look him up for you. But while I'm looking up Heavenly Pete, just tell us a little bit more about what you do and all that jazz.
What I do? I don't know, man. I'm a poster. I post, and Nietzsche said that the essence of slave morality is utility. And that's something I take very seriously. I try very hard not to try very hard.
When you try hard, you die hard. Is that what you mean?
Yes, I'm pretty sure of that. And so I just sort of I live an aristocratic lifestyle. Right now I'm in an Airbnb, and whenever I click my mouse, the two dogs next door bark. So hopefully we'll have some of that this episode.
Nice. And by the way, this is Heavenly Pete. It is on the monitor right now. I know you're not
Just
able to see it,
chilling.
but you'll see it on
Yeah.
YouTube eventually. So it says, if you see this while scrolling, you have been visited by Heavenly Pete. Pete knows you're very tired and will peacefully end your life in your sleep soon, but only if you reply with, "Kill me, Pete." So that's Heavenly Pete, and he's a nice looking cat. I don't know what breed of cat he is. He's like not a Sphinx cat. He has like a long muzzle and like elongated ears. But we use him for our Discord. We have him as one of the emojis because I just like the way that he looks. Do you have a favorite breed of cat?
Do I have a favorite breed of cat? I like the Maine Coon.
Yes, they're very
Very
beautiful too.
Big and fluffy, yes.
Yeah, so fluffy. I just imagine like getting a big Maine Coon and just bringing it up to my face, just like doing that, just like cleaning my face in the morning with a Maine Coon, kind of like how Jim Carrey did in The Mask with the dog. You remember that scene when he was dressing up?
No, I'm sorry.
You never watched The
I don't
Mask,
remember that scene.
1990?
The Mask, I've not seen. Is it
How-
Kino?
How it is very
Oh, it's
Kino.
Kino. It is
Very
absolutely
Kino. I'll make sure to watch it. I'll write it
Oh,
down.
please do. Yes.
Oh,
I mean,
absolutely.
is the Mask related to Ninja Turtles, by the way, in some way, or am I mixing something up here?
They
It was around the
are
same time.
They're independent comic books. So if we think about, the Ninja Turtles might be one of the most inspirational stories of creator-owned, creator-run comics ever presented, because it's two dudes sitting around drawing stuff, laughing, and it snowballed into millions of dollars, and all this merchandise, all this toys, hats, video games, comic books, movies, off of them goofing around. Same thing with The Mask. The Mask was it was a comic book that a guy had produced, and they optioned it into the movie. It just happened to everything aligned perfect for Jim Carrey. I think it was one year he had Ace Ventura. The next year he had Dumb and Dumber, and The Mask hit. Suddenly he's a superstar. Like I believe that was the way that went down, because it was the same kind of it was a black and white comic book that was very edgy and filled with some of the stuff that was in the movie was in there, like the some of the Looney Tunes kind of stuff and the antics and the big crazy guns and the weird outfits. But it was a much darker comic book, as I recall. Like it wasn't necessarily as light and whimsical as the movie presented things. That The Mask had more of a curse to it.
Well, they were kind of hinting about the curse of Loki on like in the movie with Ben Stein, who is still around, by the way. Like I didn't know what happened to him, but apparently he's still alive and well. And who knows? Maybe we can have him on as a guest.
Yeah, you ever get him on? He'd be a fascinating guy to talk to. He wrote speeches for Nixon. Like
Wow.
he is a sharp guy. And then he had a game show where people had to win his money.
Win Ben Stein's money. And
Yeah.
do you remember who the co-host of that was?
I believe it was Jimmy Kimmel.
It was Jimmy Kimmel.
A young baby-faced Jimmy Kimmel.
Yeah, and it's so weird. Like, if we're thinking about, I don't know where to put the Twitter handle, by the way, of Breviloque. If I'm pronouncing
You
that
can just
correctly.
spell it out. Yeah, it's Latin. It's like
Yeah,
sixth declension or something.
yeah. I'm just gonna put it on the
That's how
side
many
over
Twitter
here.
accounts I've had to go through. I keep on. Eventually, I'm gonna run out of declensions for this word, and it's gonna piss me off. But
Here, I'm gonna have to put an avatar in, so I'm gonna choose. What is that avatar? It's like a weird looking painting of a. Oh, it's a clown. Ah, I see. Now, why did you choose this strange looking clown as your avatar?
it's by a Spanish painter called Botero is his last name. And this was before like the clown world stuff came. I was like the original clown, and I liked how ugly he looked, and it's like I'm not trying to make myself look pretty or anything for my audience. I think it's John, so one of the epistles or maybe the gospel. He mentions that like Jesus was like not a super attractive guy. I think I might be making this up in my head, but I'm pretty sure there's a verse in scripture about this, and it's like even at that time they knew that like say cult leaders would sort of lure in people with their charming looks, and I don't want to do that. I want to manipulate my audience.
Very interesting. And, well, we're going to get to your audience in a bit, but first I just want to finish on the thing with Ben Stein. So he wrote speeches for Nixon. What else did he do? Like, why did he... Well, no, we were talking after what did he do? We were talking Ben Stein's money and then Jimmy Kimmel. So do you see, before we get back to Ben Stein, do you see a transformation that Jimmy Kimmel has had, and how much of that you think is these Hollywood influences of, turning into, from this man show guy to what he becomes now?
Well, it has to be. It has to be that he wants the A-list guest, that he wants to be Mr. ABC, which is, Disney. He wants to be that guy. He wants to be the face of the network, and in many, I would say that he probably is. Like he is definitely a mainstream face now, and I just can't. It feels unbelievable that Jimmy Kimmel has come that far, and it's my understanding that Howard Stern has done the same thing. Like he would go on vacations with Howard Stern a lot. They would hang out, and Howard Stern, went from as far out and as vulgar and hilarious as you could be to doing the same kind of stuff Jimmy Kimmel's doing, where he's softballing questions and wants to be the face of what it was, the talent show. It was one of those talent shows.
America's Got Talent.
He was on America's Got Talent. Him and Howie Mandel sitting there judging people, buzzing people through, and it seems unfathomable.
No,
that this is
I
where
agree.
they've come. That to go from. And just like the Ninja Turtles, it's the testament of, well, they want to make money, and this is what they're willing to do.
Although with Jimmy Kimmel, I remember his co-host of the Man Show, Adam Carolla, was talking about, on they're friends. I think they're still good friends. He was talking about how back in the day, Jimmy Kimmel, like when he was a child, he was such a huge Johnny Carson fan. And he used to get a birthday cake. He had a birthday cake, like a Johnny Carson themed birthday cake. Like that's how much he was obsessed with being this talk show host. So in a way, maybe the Man Show and all that stuff was like a stepping ladder. So it's not like he changed, but like he had a certain persona in order to fulfill his character. Meanwhile, the Jimmy Kimmel show, Jimmy Kimmel was actually the real Jimmy Kimmel, who was like underneath the fat layers of this Man Show beer swilling guy that was just a projection shown to people.
I think of it like a dial. Like if you think like, all right, so we've got all the way on one end, like let's go as hard as possible, and we're gonna be, the funniest, wildest, most charismatic character. And then if we dial it all the way back, it's like, all right, here's the radio version, here's the family-friendly version. Here's the Charles Con that you can show your mom.
Bring back home the mother.
Yes, and there's a version of that. Like everybody has to do that. If you think, adjust the dial. Like throughout the day, as you talk to people, it's like, well, around my friends, I'm going to be, more vulgar. I'm going to make more lewd jokes. I'm going to be more outrageous. But if I'm talking to, a friendly church guy or somebody who's a more straight-laced conservative guy, like we're going to dial it back. We're going to be more family friendly. And that's sort of the dance that you have to do in society.
Yeah, well, we're on radio right now, and with all our might, we're holding back from cursing. So,
Oh yes.
yes, yeah, that is a strange thing with the radio. But anyway, I mean, Howard Stern, back to him. He got in a lot of trouble for the kind of things that he was doing back in the day. See, my concern right now, though, is other than like there is this corner of Twitter which is extremely online. You could say you're a part of that corner. I'm a part of that corner too now, and Geo's a part of it and all that. And there seems to be like the last remnants of being able to speak truth or power, like whether or not the kind of truth that's being spoken about is actually real. Because people make mistakes too. This is why I'm so much of an emphasizer on I want to bring in people from the other side of I want to bring in people from the military industrial complex if possible. I want to bring in people with the financial with the let's say the Federal Reserve. I want to bring in people who actually like the Federal Reserve, who think that it's a necessary thing. I want to bring all these people on to talk, and my concern is that there are certain mythologies that get passed down through whichever online circle you happen to be in, but still to compare the extremely online circle that you're in and Geo's in, and I'm sure that I can never pronounce it, Breviloquo. I'm sure that you're in a similar circle as well. To compare that to a lot more of these, with the pronouns and yada, 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 Ben Shapiro, own the libs. Yeah, you know what I'm getting to here. So to compare it with something like that, a lot of these people, they're in such a hug box, and we all know this, but they're in such a hug box and they cannot be criticized. And my concern is that what exactly is going to happen to the majority of the people, if this goes from a minority to actually most people, because if so many young people today are the ones who are putting the pronouns in, and their default instructor, especially today, since COVID, is going to be the internet. So, what exactly is going to happen to them, just in general, about how they live, about how civilization is formed? Is there going to be something that you think is going to happen where they're going to eventually put on the black Antifa costumes? Or do you think that this is just a phase, and then they're just going to become Normie McNormanstein and just go about their life just like their fathers and grandfathers did?
That isn't so much even the point, because these people are, you could consider them in a sense victims of themselves, like a dog licking themselves. They're kind of, there's these famous people this is now, it's not an esoteric thing that the Antifa, it's a phenotype more than it is like a political ideology. These people look like freaks. And so it doesn't so much matter whether, of course, when they're, some of these people are quite old, they're in their 30s, 40s, but eventually you grow old and infirm and you die or whatever. But the movement is here to stay. Of course the people come and go, but it's going to stay around for a while. And it's because with so much of what's going on nowadays, there's no limiting principle to this. There's no anything besides, even if they got totally what they wanted, they would still be mad. So they're just going to be these are antisocial people. If they weren't doing this, they would be graffitiing or doing drugs or engaging in orgies or something. These are just antisocial people who like to do violence. That's why Kyle Rittenhouse shot 2 pedophiles or whatever, or at least one of the guy was convicted.
Well, one was
child rapist or whatever,
and the other one was beating up his wife, I think, or girlfriend.
Yeah, these are just violent. These people want an excuse for violence. I don't even know if they're even so politically motivated. All of them.
No, I could agree.
Strong.
I could agree there, but what I'm asking is not even about the Antifa. It's more about what are the choices that the majority of, let's say, posters who are I don't know, back in the day, they would have, gone to see, what did I do as a kid? I went to see the Star Wars movie. I went to school. I went to Mount Airy Lodge for vacation, swam in the pool. I played basketball in the church courtyard. So that's the kind of stuff that we did as kids. We played hide and seek. But what exactly is the life going to be like for so many people who are not just stuck online, but they're stuck online with these pronouns now and this gender idea of like who they actually are that's being reinforced by all these different influences. Like when they like then go to high school and then college and then like get some job, whatever that may look like.
I
I'm
can
just
tell you
curious
what's
about
going to happen.
transformation.
I
Yeah.
can tell you exactly what's going to happen. Reality's going to hit, and reality's going to hit hard. They're going to have a customer who doesn't care anything about what they have to say, and they're going to go hard on them, and it's going to hurt. Like it's going to be a really bitter pill to swallow. That a guy that wants to buy stuff off of me isn't gonna kiss up to me. He's not going to play the game that I'm playing. And I think, let's not hurt people. Let's not go out of our way to say mean things to people. Like let's be cool. Let's be chill. Because if somebody wants to play the pronoun game and all this stuff, like whatever you want to do, whatever floats your boat. But this whole thing of everybody has to know everything I'm up to at all times. Like you got to get that out of your head. Like you can't live your life that way. Like there's so much deep lore, as they say, about everybody, that you don't know where somebody's come from or what somebody's up to or how they've lived their life, or everyone just assumes that everyone knows everything about them at all times, and that's just not the way to live. Like the idea of projecting everything that you're doing online, I can't figure that out. Like who cares? Who is wanting to put every picture of their kid everywhere online for everybody to see forever? I think to my childhood, there might be maybe an hour of footage of me from on videotape floating around on VHS. I think of what's going on the average Facebook post or Instagram now. Like people are just front and center with hours upon hours of footage of themselves and their kids and their families, and who's that footage for? Like it's, people look at it the day that it's posted, but are they going to go back and look? Are they going to go back and see that footage? So I think a tape of me as a kid playing Nintendo, I have footage. Somebody had a camcorder and come through, and I'm sitting there enjoying Nintendo, being the little nerd that I was. Reality's going to hit. It's going to hit hard.
Yeah, I disagree. Not so much with, say, your value judgments. I don't really disagree too much with. But the reality is not going to hit them. More and more delusion is going to hit them. These, we've reached.
So you're saying that the idea that reality is not going to just slam into them, that they're going to just keep going on and on in this fantasy.
There is no reality to slap into them. The most they're going to get is some, what you'd call, say, homophobic or transphobic person. If they're in, detected by your accent, there's certain corners of the U.S. where it might still be difficult because some people don't approve your lifestyle, but it's nothing like it would have been, 30, 50, even a decade ago. The pronoun stuff is here to stay. You get emails now from people, and they're including it in their signature. That's just here to stay. If some like stupid girl with pink hair wants to be called Zur or whatever, you're just gonna have to do that. There's really no way around it.
Well, no, you could just not say the pronoun. You could speak to people without saying the pronouns. There is a way to do that.
Yeah, with a they, and it's sort of
No, yeah, so instead of saying
it's been done for a while, but
instead of saying they, like
them.
if the name is Mary, if the name is Mary, then instead of saying they or saying Zur, I'll say Mary. I'll say Mary. Mary went to the store. I say Mary's gonna be on the stream in 5 minutes. There's no reason to give in.
Yeah.
Yeah, but most people are. And maybe not with this like neo-pronoun stuff, but it's already crazy enough that you have these people sort of spreading. It's almost like a religious. This has been said before. It's like a religious doctrine about like soul transmutation. This has already been accepted by like say 90% of Americans. This is a legitimate expression of identity. There just is. We're living in this like simulacrum. where everyone is online now, and it's what McLuhan said. It's a global village that everyone's in everyone's business. We're sharing everything about ourselves. And McLuhan said this was not going to be good. He predicted it. He said it was going to be awful. And we're living in it. And there is a sort of determinism you have to have about history at this point, that it's really just gonna it's sort of predetermined. Maybe in 1,000 years we can get out of this, or in 300 years, but it's for the time being in our lifetimes, this is only going to get worse, and people should start preparing for that.
Yeah, how does somebody disconnect at this point? Like, is there a way to back away from the internet? And I mean, short of, oh, I left my phone at home, so I guess I'm not going to be in contact with the boys today.
Unless it's going to be in your head by that point, unless the Neuralink is going to start up, and at that point, just like in Futurama, they had. You remember that episode of Futurama where when Fry had a dream, he had an advertisement within the dream.
Yeah, that's the abyss. That is absolute darkness right there. That is the end.
And what I will say is the real actual challenge to this, if there is any, will come from this has been, people have this idea that like black people are like homophobic, and they're going to be some great allies in like ending gay marriage. This is a delusion. But third world, second world, like developing peoples, they're not like Filipino peasants are not totally on board with this stuff already. Some of them actually are the transvestites or the hookers or whatever, but
it's slightly different though in certain cultures like that. Like if we're talking about let's say Brazil, I don't know if it was Gio who pointed it out, but somebody pointed it out that in Brazil, the like the men who dress up as the women and get the breast implants and all that, like it's considered kind of funny. Like it's considered okay to actually make fun of them, and they're tough. Like they can stab you, like they're tough.
Make a joke.
Yeah,
I think that's a problem with society right now. You want to talk about the biggest problem is, as a joker myself who may have spun a yarn or two in his day, the idea that I can say something offhand and just throw it out there, like, because I throw a million jokes out at the wall, and one thing just upset somebody to their core that I've never met, never spoke to, and don't even know, but it upset them so deeply that now suddenly somebody's whole career is just done over the simplest of lightest joke that they threw out, or even an old joke. That's the thing that's even crazier than that, is a joke they threw out 10 years ago, 15 years ago. Like, how can you bring back a joke that somebody did on a sitcom or on stage years ago and try to destroy them over a joke? Like, the whole idea of a joke is to be funny. Some jokes aren't funny. Some jokes land badly. Some jokes not being funny is what's funny about them. You're trying to get the reaction out of other people, and that's what's funny.
Well, I think it's a Thomastic quality, and I was talking about this before getting the phone out here for the definitions, but I was talking in the beginning of the stream how there are these three qualities that all of us have to a certain extent. Some people have one quality more than the other one. So we would have sattva, which is like balance, harmony, goodness, purity, universalizing, constructive, creative. Rajas, which is like, Raja, the tiger from Aladdin, but it means king. But rajas is passion, activity, which is neither good nor bad, self-centeredness, egoism, individualizing, driven, moving, dynamic. And tamas, which I think is the quality that most people right now, especially like online, like a lot of the pronoun people, I would put many of them into the quality of tamas, which is imbalance, disorder, chaos, anxiety, destructive, delusion, negative, dull, inactive, apathy, inertia, lethargy, violence, vicious, ignorance. So I think that is the problem right now, that there is like the rise through this universal village of things that are being backed up by a certain degree of violence, by a certain degree of, if you don't do this, then I'm going to do something that the other side's not going to do. Yeah. And we have at the same time people who are having this Thomastic quality, who are supposed to be like the guides, the elites, the guardians. Like, I'm of the opinion that I think we're always going to have an elite. That's just the function of like natural hierarchies, and the elites are supposed to, in a way, guide culture. And today I think we have a lot of elites who have like they're giving in. I mean, they care about the bottom line. They don't want to make a mess. So they're going to give in to the loud minority when it comes to this online sphere, when it comes to censorship and all that. Sure, you could say some of it is intentionally done. But again, like, I think it's a mix of a lot of different things, like everything. And they're going to give in, and they have the Tomastic quality of not standing up for certain principles because, again, they're more worried about their security and bottom line. And at the end of the day, I understand that there are some people who have to address the board, the investors, all of that. I get it. And it's a bad situation for everyone around, especially those who are aware of it. But it goes down the chain where I think that there are still people out there who may not be as dependent, who may be able to, let's say, switch jobs, who may be able to, again, not everybody, I completely understand that, but there are some people who can, without being a jackass about it, without being, someone very negative, there are different ways of expressing your opinion. And I think that today on Twitter, on Facebook, especially with the boomers, you're having all these arguments back and forth, all this mudslinging with people who don't know how to address something, how to make a point without accusing their opponent of being the worst of the worst. And that's what we're seeing. And in a way, like, even though people could say that, Trump came in here and he told the truth and all that, like, I still think that energy of telling the truth, of telling it like it is, people take that and they misuse it to such an extent so many times that as a result, you're not making any friends. You're not making, I mean, sure, you could say, well, I'm never going to make friends with these people. Be that as it may, there are people who are on the sidelines who could have otherwise been inspired some way. Not everybody, maybe like 0.01%, but still, some of those people, they could have been inspired and could have taken the fire that you're bringing out when you're not going to be such a butthole about it, when you're not going to be so negative in how you present it.
Because that's, you catch more flies with honey. That's the beauty of humor, is that humor, a really good joke, something that's really funny, like that'll cut through everything. That hits you in the stomach, that hard belly laugh, that Gilbert Gottfried just said the most ridiculous thing and nobody'd ever expected, and you can't control yourself. It hurts so bad that you're laughing. And it's a universal thing. Like, you see a big fat guy slip and fall on a banana peel and hurt himself, everybody's going to giggle. Or the Three Stooges slapping the tar out of one another. Like, that's universal. You don't need to speak the language. You don't need to know the guys. You don't need to know anything about them.
I'm sorry.
The Three Stooges just slapping the tar out of one another is, it's a tremendous power. And, and it's a responsibility to be that funny, to have that thought in your head of I'm going to be funny and entertain people.
I agree. Guys, you're watching Break the Rules, breaktherules.tv. This is where you go. We've got 20 minutes left on the air, and then we are going to here's what I need everybody to do. Everybody who is watching this right now, go to breaktherules.tv, and that's going to link you right to our YouTube channel. Subscribe right now. Stop your car. Stop what you're doing. Grab your phone. All the radio listeners, this is for you. Grab your phone right now and go to YouTube. Go to bit.ly. No, go to breaktherules.tv. Press it. It'll give you the YouTube app. Subscribe. Press that subscribe button. And all the people who are watching right now, all the regulars, I love you to death. Please send your friends this channel and subscribe to Break the Rules. You guys are the best. You guys are the greatest. And I definitely agree. Humor is universal. But there
we need to laugh more. We got to laugh more.
Yeah.
Like, everybody takes themselves too seriously. Everybody is so stuck up in their own head and their own world. And like, one girl told me about a concept that I hadn't heard of before called doom scrolling, where she's just looking through the news trying to find the most sour and awful things, and like, oh, look how bad things are, and oh, everything on here is just terrible. And then she said, and then I saw what you posted, and I had to set my phone down. I was laughing so hard. She couldn't hold herself, and just like pulled me aside. I was like, thank you so much for that. I was like, I just post jokes. Like, I don't, you never know. You never really know with the internet. It's sort of fire and forget. You don't know who's out there. Same with the radio. Like, I picture in my mind, I'm talking to 3 Rose Bowls full of people right now, like, potentially. And you never know who's out there, like, who needs a laugh. And that's the thought that I have. That's why I make jokes. That's why I try to have fun. And that's where I'm coming from.
I'm thinking about the fat guy falling right now.
Yeah.
I don't know why it's so funny. It's kind of
But
cruel.
you could also turn it. You could turn it, and you think, oh, Geo fell, like we saw Geo fall.
Oh, poor Geo, yeah.
Yeah, and then it becomes, oh
Yeah.
man, poor Geo. Like, is he okay? It can turn, and and no offense to Geo, like he's a large gentleman. I like him. He is the giant Geo.
Yeah.
For
now, but he is working on it as well, though. He's talked about this, and yeah.
Yeah. Well, listen, power to him, man. Everybody should get as healthy as they want to get.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and the world is not one collective, even though it is. We're individuals that make up the collective. Like, that's how it has to work. Everybody has to do what's right for them.
I agree. And I think to end these things off over here. Oh, and by the way, let me also mention a huge thanks to KGRA Radio for hosting this and the Rundown Live. My friend Kristan T Harris. I am so grateful for Kristan giving me the opportunity to do this. And Kristan, you're the best. I love your shows. Guys, make sure you subscribe to Kristan T Harris on Twitter and keep watching the Rundown Live. He is going to be back this Friday. So Thursday is going to be my last day here, taking over for Kristan. And Kristan is just the best, the greatest, and I love him to death. And I really appreciate him giving this opportunity. And before we go, I also want to say, well, we're going to go at 3 o'clock. But before we go, I just want to say, go to our YouTube and go to the episode we're going to have about art that's going to be coming up today. It's going to be a great episode. It's going to be Geo versus Paul Talk, who's in France right now. I'm not sure if he is a frog, if he is a Frenchman. Much respect to the French. I'm really enjoying the Count of Monte Cristo that I'm reading right now. But that's going to be happening on this channel on BreakTheRules.tv. It's happening at 5 o'clock. So make sure you tune in for that. It's going to be loads of fun. We're going to have a lot of other guests coming in as well after or maybe during that whole art debate. So, yeah. So what did I want to say? What else did I want to say? I want to say some dreams. So, okay, here we go. So I had a dream a couple of days ago that I want to read for you guys. As many of you already know, I go to sleep every day, and I usually have a dream that I write down every day. It doesn't always happen, but it happens pretty often. So this is just a random dream over here, and here we go. I was in a dance class, and the floor was very slippery, so even if I tried to avoid it, I bumped into some of the girls, but found a side road that the instructor said was for sliding. I was also going to this area in New York City where John Facey could see me through the door. That's my friend John. I was thinking about how safe this area was. Before this, I also sensed that we had tigers for pets, but lost sight of them. In the back area of the dance studio, there were 2 spoiled puppy dogs who were complaining, and I told one of them how they'd like it if they were working in the African salt mines. I also said some of the richest people are miserable. A black lady next to me started to sing along with me, and we started singing I Got Plenty of Nothing from Porgy and Bess. And the instrumental for it started playing in the background. I improvised some lyrics. I was in the cafeteria and saw a girl eating waffles with a pinkish transparent goo, which is supposed to taste like jam and butter. So what do you guys think of that?
There's a lot to unpack there. There's a lot to unpack there, brother. Whenever
I keep like a dream diary, I always remember much more. And then I'll start having the lucid dreams. But usually it's like I'm not in control, and then I wake up and I have like sleep paralysis, which isn't fun. But when you were telling that, I was thinking of how much of my dreams do I just forget, and don't even register in my memory. It's a very if I were trained in psychoanalysis, some of that might appear to me to have some hidden meaning, say the slipping around woman, but I'll leave that to the Freudians and the Jungians and the Jordan Petersons out there.
Interesting. And yeah, I see a lot more over here. One dream featured Lee Sayat. I don't know if you guys know Lee Sayat. He's from the Church of What's Happening Now. He used to be. Now he's not doing that anymore with Joey Coco Diaz, who
him
moved to
and
New Jersey.
Mad Flavor.
Yeah, Matt Flavor, yeah. And the thing about Lee, and I met Lee, Lee's a great guy, but he smoked so much weed, and Joey used to dose him with edibles. Joey used to take like these edibles of like 900 milligrams, these gummies, and put the wrapper on for like 400 or 200 milligram, and give those to Lee, and that would make Lee. It would make him shoot off into outer space. And we recently had on Dave Jack for 2 appearances in our show, who was, I think, one of the guys that sold them a lot of this weed, or gave the weed to them back in Canada. He's like one of the largest growers there. Great guy. And he also had, he has the brain cancer, and he used the weed to medicate himself to get rid of the brain cancer. But it's like an ongoing battle. Like it's not like you just snap your fingers and it's gone.
It's like Super Saiyan versus Goku.
What? Goku was a Super Saiyan.
It's like Harry Potter versus Voldemort, where they just keep on doing it, and so it neutralizes the cancer, but you just got to keep on toking that joint.
Well, no, not so much about toking joints. It really works when you eat it. So he just goes through pretty much everything he eats is laced with cannabis oil. That's the only way, and it's like it's way more than Lee. So I think he's like like maybe 10,000 milligrams of THC per day. I don't know. Like
that's hardcore.
It is hardcore.
I mean, the guys who turn it into a lifestyle, like that's what they're living for. And if he feels
as long
that
as
it's
it gets
helped
rid
him,
of cancer.
Yeah, if he feels it's helped him medically, like who are we to say that you can't do that? Like he should be able to do that. Like if that's what he wants to do. If he wants to,
maybe
blast
he's lying
off
about the cancer. Maybe he just really likes weed. It needs.
Maybe it just makes him feel good. And
no, I don't think it's that. Just because he had this something blastoma, that the doctor said he has like this much time to live, and after he started doing this hardcore, it ended up going away. So, and when he stopped doing it for a while because they tried to do some other experimental thing with him, then it came back, and it started metastasizing into other parts of his body. So spit over the shoulder in a Russian tradition when you're talking about stuff like this. And he started back up again, and now he's fighting the battle, but he's not fighting over here. Now he's a bit further away, it's tough, but it just goes to show you that these things do have incredible healing properties, that at least from his example, it wasn't just thinking happy thoughts. You can't just go from having something in your brain like that to it then disappearing just by thinking about it. I mean, maybe some monks could do that, but then again, they probably wouldn't get cancer in the first place because they're constantly in that higher plane of existence or something. I don't know.
Yeah, crazy.
Yeah,
you should get a doctor on the show.
Yes, well, here's what we want to do. There is a doctor who I know, John Neely, who is here in New York, and he's also like treating patients who have COVID and all that. I want to bring him in, but I want to do something even further, and I'm going to talk to him about this. Okay, I want to get a vial of the vaccine, like the Pfizer vaccine, right? I want to get a vial of it. I want him to get the vial of it. He's a trusted professional doctor. I want him to get the vial. I want him to live stream 1080p, high quality, good internet connection. I want him to live stream him putting that vial into either an electron microscope or whichever microscope would allow you to see what exactly is in the vaccine. I don't see why am I the first person to think about this? I don't think I am, but I haven't heard anybody talking about it. Like, if people are so concerned about what is going on with the vaccine, just put it under a microscope, dude. Like, microscopes exist. Well, why is this a problem? Why is nobody doing this?
Yeah, I think you need more than... I think you need, like, the lasers or whatever they do.
Electron microscope,
electron, right? Yeah, electrons, if they can get the electrons, they can get the molecules. So that should work.
Yeah, I mean, great. I mean, look, I know it's expensive to buy, but maybe you can rent it.
Well, you can
Maybe
rent it. Yeah, that's probably what you have to do.
Yeah, so what is the problem here? I mean, this is a message for everybody right now listening to this. It's not just going to be my idea. Like, take this idea and run with it. Anybody who's listening to it, if you know somebody who has access to this microscope and somebody who has access to, I mean, I don't know, are these vaccines, are they kept under lock and key, or like how does that whole thing work? Like, how hard is it to actually get the official vaccine and to like use it for see what's up, see what's inside?
Well, I think they're giving it to doctors early because they don't want to have doctors get it.
So if they're giving it to doctors, then the doctors, they don't have any like law that says, well, you can only do this with the vaccine. Like, you could look at what's inside the vaccine and live stream it, right? Like, I think.
I mean, unless there's some sort of a copyright on the vaccine from the different companies. Even then, though, they probably have listings of everything that's in it. I mean, wouldn't they?
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing.
Put it on GitHub.
Because this would, first of all, it would eliminate any of the conspiracy stuff that people are talking about related to what people think is inside. Okay, Chris Hastings says electron microscopy can't do that, Lev, unfortunately. Okay, interesting. But if electron microscopes can't do it, are we saying that this is so small that you can't even see what's... See, that's what's confusing me about this. Why can't you be able to tell when looking at a vaccine what exactly is in it? You know? Like, Chris, like, let me know. Is this really
tools?
just
There's
no
got
way?
to be tools to analyze this stuff.
For me, like, let's throw all conspiracy and stuff. Like, throw all that out. I have doubt. I'll just say it flat out. Doubt. That's the word I have. I have doubts. There's and it comes from a place of it was a SARS vaccine. I want to say in the 70s that there was like a bad batch of that went out because they rushed through the testing on it, and that has me concerned. Like, that has me thinking, I don't know. Like, let's see. Let's give it a few months, see how people are doing, and even then, like who's to say years from now something doesn't come on. Like, that's where my doubt comes from with this thing. Like, you know, for other people, if they want to jump in and be first in line, like, go for it. Like, more power to you.
Yeah, I have enough autism, so.
Oh man!
I mean,
wait, are you really autistic? Like, clinically?
No, a lot of people say they're autistic when they're really just kind of I'm like more schizo. I like to think.
When you say schizo, when you go to sleep at night, when you put your face on the pillow or head on the pillow, like do you?
I don't use pillows,
do you hear,
yes.
Do you hear voices?
Do I hear voices? No, but I'm closer to there than being normal, I think.
Well, define it for me though, because if you're saying it, I'm not sure what exactly you mean.
Well, I'm just a little bit wacky sometimes. Sometimes I get a little wacky. You understand this, Lev?
Wacky.
Yeah. So I don't know, man. Like, I'm not autistic in the sense that, like, I know what people are saying in social situations. I just choose to ignore it, which I don't think is like autism.
Interesting. And I don't know, I think I have autism, which is when I tell people, you ought to do this, you ought to do that. Anyway, that was a bad joke.
I liked it. I like the joke. I'll certainly give you an A for effort.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that.
Excellent.
And what about, okay, so 2 minutes to wrap. Oh my God, guys, this is it. This is the end. We are approaching the end. Listen, go to breaktherules.tv right now. All the people who are listening and all the people in the chat right now, subscribe, and get your friends to this subscribe. And I really appreciate all of you. I really appreciate all of you being here. Listen, here's where you have to go right now. Go to breaktherules.tv and go to the show that we are going to have today at 5 o'clock. Just sign up for that. Add a reminder for that show. That is going to be What is True Art? We already have 4 people waiting. 4 people is not enough. We got to get more people in on this thing. It's going to be live in 2 hours. It is live at 5 p.m. Eastern. So go there right now. What is True Art? Start filling in. So start getting away from this one. Go into that one or keep both windows open, whatever you want, whatever you prefer. But anyway, guys, this is a message to all the people who are listening here with the radio. I really appreciate you listening to this, but also I really appreciate Kristan T Harris. He's great guy, And I really appreciate KGRA Radio and Race over here for having me on, for hosting this program. And, of course, Kristan T Harris is the Rundown Live. Guys, subscribe to the Rundown Live as well. It is a great show. There's so many interesting things that are going to be discussed here. We all want to get to the bottom of things, and this is what we're here to do. So we have a final comment over here from Chris Hastings. If this is the Pfizer vaccine, all you would see with the appropriate stain is the fatty vesicles that the mRNA is contained within. If you wanted to know what that mRNA was, you'd have to do sequencing. Oh man, see, this is already getting beyond my head. Look, all I want is to see what's going on in there. Is it really that hard? Because how do people even know what's in there? Anyway, all I'm getting to here, guys, is I want to find out what's in this thing and for everybody to see it so that we don't have to make all these assumptions. I'm sure that there is a way to do that. I mean, maybe Chris, you're right. There is no way. But guys, let me know. Write a comment after this stream. DM me. Just let me know. Are there any ways that people could actually find out what is in this thing? And I will be a happy camper. So again, 2:59. We are almost at the end. I want to thank Masked Ba, Stard, and I want to thank Brevilacqua for coming in here, first timer,
Yes.
and I hope to have you back
Anytime.
with us some
Second
more.
timer. Yeah, see you,
Second
man.
timer. Oh man. Okay. Sorry about that.
Always
Yes,
a
second
pleasure.
timer.
I love Break the Rules. It's an excellent program. You guys have a lot of fun discussing everything.
Thank you. I appreciate that. And don't forget to go to patreon.com/breaktherules. That is THE with a 3. Go there right now, and $20 patrons are going to get beautiful woodcut magnets from my father. And Esses says, Lev, that squirrel vid is everything I like. That's why I have it in there, brother. So look at these magnets. Look how here, I'm going to put on the top screen. Look how beautiful these magnets are. $20 patronage gets you these beautiful magnets, and $30 patronage is going to get you Giovanni Panicetti's beautiful prints. Once again, art stream coming up at 5 p.m. today. Join Gio and Paul Talk. Getting it on. And here we go. Oh, here are the magnets. Here, I'm going to show you the prints. Here we go. Here are the Patreon prints. Why is this video not playing? I'm going to figure that out. Anyway, guys, these are beautiful prints. Better believe me, these are amazing prints. And I love you all. It is 3 p.m. I believe here it is. We are wrapping up. I did not get anything from Race yet as far as the wrapping up goes. I don't see a message on the screen yet. Maybe I just missed it. Let me check it out again. Chat. Are we done or are we... Okay, nothing yet. So I'm going to keep going. I have the floor, and I want to say again, everybody, subscribe, and I love you. And when you go home today, tell your kids and your family that you love them and you're there for them, and everybody grow stronger together and start meditating too, but not too hard. Don't go all the way off into the astral realm if you don't know what you're doing. But we got to start building up. Like, this is my antithesis, like, to what you guys are saying, to this system that people are captured in right now with these pronouns and all that. I think the only way to now to fight back is to go within and to discover exactly what we're made of, because we can have all these different identities that we throw on top of us to represent what we are, but at the end of the day, I think we are all a manifestation of one God, of one consciousness that is expressing itself as all these different things, yada yada yada. You get the point. So that is it. We are ending. It is 3:01. I don't know why we are still on the air. I don't have any message from anybody else, but here we go. Any final comments, you guys? And I'm going to look at the screen and see why we're not ending yet.
Yeah, I do Dungeons & Dragons live streams every Friday over at twitch.tv/CharlesCon. We get really silly. We have a lot of fun there. I just want people to laugh more. I want people to have more fun, not take themselves too seriously. Have a laugh. Enjoy your life. Like we only get the one to live, so let's laugh. Let's enjoy it.
That sounds great. And Masked, Bastard.
Yep, that's
Oh,
me
that
on
was you.
Twitter.
Oh,
every
yes.
day. Yeah, every day
Excellent.
on Twitter. I post stuff every hour on the hour. Like, we're always doing different themes and being real silly on there, like pranking celebrities, that sort of thing.
And Brevilacqua, that is your Twitter handle. Yeah. Is there anything else you want to leave the good people?
Not really. Yeah, I should have prepared. But yeah, I'm all right. shout out Lev. Lev is a good guy.
Thank you, man.
And,
Lev is a great guy. I feel blessed to have gotten to know him a little bit here the last few times that I've been on the program. Like, a fascinating character.
Thank you. Well, here's how we can end it.
Called you, okay, so yeah.
Here's how we can end it. I'm going to do an ohm, and I'm going to try to make it really long. This is how we end the stream. My throat's a bit sore from the speaking, but that's okay. Let's see how long I can do the ohm. Nah, that wasn't long at all.
Much better than I am. I tried to join in. I could not hang.
Yeah, see,
well,
I was
it's kind of like an N sound, not an O.
I was speaking. Yes, because there is a variety of it with an N instead of the M. So that is just like a specific variety. Why don't we do an ohm together? And I'm going to do... Yeah, I don't know what's going on. It's 3:04. So...
Oh, I think we're off air.
We're off the air. Okay.
Yeah,
I
assume that. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, I don't think your O reached the map.
Sorry.
I thought, okay, sorry about that. I thought that we were going to get some kind of a notice, like the 3, 2, 1, but I guess not. Well, anyway, guys, this is it. This is the end of the stream. They did not get an ohm, but you are special listeners on BTR and the YouTube. You're not just going to get an ohm, but you're also going to get this. You're going to get this special guy right over here. So here we go. Okay, this may be loud. Let's see.
I'll do it.
Hold on. 1, 2, 3. All right, guys, this is the end of the stream. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget, 5 o'clock, 5 o'clock, art stream. Follow all these fine people here. I will see you later. Bye-bye.
See you, man.